Brett Perigo, tonight's second place finisher. Plenty of fans here, Brett, and a solid second place finish.
Yeah, I got to shout out the Turn 2 Terribles over there. They're all a bunch of good guys to hang out with, talk to. I really like them.
How are you doing tonight, man?
Hey, I'm talking here. You know who you're talking to? Macho Man! On my way to Monday Night Raw.
How I want to answer the second one.
Your choice.
It's a trap.
I feel like it is. I feel like he's setting up fights in the front stretch. Is what he's trying to do.
Speedway. We've got Devin Gordon with us.
At Keen Motorsports Shop here with Kyle Keen. Sitting here with Sean Keen. We're going to talk a little bit about racing history. Yep.
It is Monday, June 23rd. I am Jimmy here with Jay-Z. We are the Turn 2 Terribles. Thanks, everybody, so much for joining us tonight. We got a good show for you guys planned tonight. We're going to go over a ton. We actually got a ton of racing in here in PA and nationally. We're going to talk about the USAC Eastern Storm that just rolled through. We'll go over all that. Awesome races at Williams Grove, Lincoln, and Port Royal over the weekend. We also have Huset, Ohio Speedweek, and then the big thing that we're going to be talking about, though, will be previewing the upcoming Pennsylvania Speedweek, the 2025 edition. We'll go over that schedule, pick our favorites, pick our underdogs, and give some other predictions here on what we think is going to come from that. And much more. Whatever you guys think, your opinions, your questions, make sure you put them in the chat. We want to know where you were this weekend. We want to know what you guys saw out there. And so Jay-Z, man, how are you doing tonight?
Good. I was a lot luckier or smarter than you. I'm not sure which, but got out of there at a decent hour, got home and got a little bit of sleep. But either way, it was a long weekend. I had a busy Friday, Saturday. Oh, yeah. And Sunday. So long weekend, good week to recover at work and get ready for another long week and a half ahead.
What's going see you guys in the chat. Santos, he was the first one. He's like, hey, you guys having a show tonight? Yeah, we are. We were just dragging a little bit tonight. Matt Bird, what's going on, boys? In the garage, getting the cart ready for Friday night at 7 Stars. Good luck there, buddy. Randy Kopp, good evening, Jay-Z, Jimmy, and race fans. EJ Shoemaker, what's going on, man? Mandy, Randy, Dakota, ready for the Pocono recap. Daniel Lee, what's up, T2Ts? Jimmy, how was Pocono? I was at Pocono Saturday and Sunday. Jay-Z, you had a really cool experience at Pocono on Sunday. I don't know if you want to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, we can do that. First, I got to shout out EJ. EJ gave us T2T the shout out before his Sheldon shout out. I think we're winning him over. He's coming over to the T2T side, right? No, I appreciate y'all being here. So, yeah, Sunday was really cool, man. And Jimmy's a veteran of this Pocono thing, and he's camped out year after year, and kind of knows his way around the place and where to get in, where to get out, and which is super cool. So I'm not certainly going to take away his experience, you got, that you went through. Um, but this was my second cup race. I really never sought them out, to be honest with you. The one I went to, it was a good experience, but it wasn't a great entertainment if the racing right. So Pocono, I knew what I was getting into from a racing standpoint, but I had the opportunity to get two garage and pit passes from Chase Briscoe and JGR from that group, and certainly couldn't pass that up. Right, it just kind of moved my plans around a little bit, and could not pass this up. And I tried to take I tried taking as much as I could, but as soon as we got to the garage, they started rolling cars to the grid. Like literally 5 minutes after we got into the garage, after we finally got to the garage. I won't get into that shit show of how we actually when we finally got there. Um, but live and learn, I guess, right? It's all experience. But super neat to just see how the teams prep, see how each person on there has their own little role. They know what they're doing at every given step, getting ready for the race, prepping themselves for the race, pit stops, what they're doing between pit stops, fuel jugs, tires, scraping all the rubber off the tires to check the wear, and just all the things I've always known watching the sport. All the years they talk about it, I've seen it, I understand it. To see it happen live was just different. It was just a different experience, and I'll tell you this, and our buddy Andy went with me, and we were standing there talking, and NASCAR gets this redneck rap, right, for what the racing is, and it's only a certain, fan. And I'll tell you what, if that if that's redneck, what's dirt track? Because the amount of money, the amount of logistics, the amount of
Yeah.
engineering, planning, organization to be at the level that they are is absolutely nothing grassroots.
Mhm.
Like it is for, I guess, American racing, and as far as like maybe, well, I'm sorry, for against the world, they still view NASCAR as NASCAR. But if
Right.
they stood and watched that and looked at it, it's just cool. It's really neat, and um, it was a really, really cool experience. Did leave a little bit early, got gone, had to get home. Andy lives in Bedford, so he had a hell of a drive, and
Yeah,
we
you
we
guys
did
had a
get out of
haul.
there a little bit early. And then the driver we got in with won the damn race for his first win of the year. So
So Dale Jr.
that
was 1-for-1 as crew chief on Saturday. You were 1-for-1 as
that's right.
as with the winner on
As a as
Sunday.
a as a guest, and they're going to have to invite me to every race now. That's just how that works. I'm going to have to
And next
follow
time
them
they
around
would
the
need to
country.
win.
So that's right. But no, it was a great experience. It was freaking hot. Like everybody else
Mm,
was hot. I get it. I know it. It was hot, man, and it
mm.
was awesome all at the same time. I'm not complaining about it at all. The sheer amount of fans, dude, standing in the pits at like where the cars would enter the garage, right? Where they would come off pit lane, go into the garage. And that's where I was standing. And I could look left and I could look right. And I didn't see a group of empty seats anywhere along the front stretch. That
Nope.
had how many do you know? Did they announce the attendance?
They don't
I
announce the
mean,
attendance, but it was a sellout. Now, where we were sitting in the very last section at turn 3. There were some open seats around
was
us,
there?
but only in our section. And there's people down in the front section that they weren't selling for a few years. I know that place, just the grandstands could hold about 70,000. So 70,000 there, plus everybody in the field. I'm telling you, you easily had 100,000 people there. Nate, let's say easily 90,000 people there. Let's go with 90,000 people there, maybe 100,000 on Sunday. It was packed. I mean, it was awesome. Um, what with Dakota Coon too, and got to hang out on the pit paddock, and like you were saying, just a sea of fans when Bubba Wallace crashed in turn 2. It's just it's still cool to me when I see it even every year. Like there's a moment where you could just hear the entire audience cheer or gasp or something like that, like just react to something over the cars. Like it's just cool. I don't know. It's but yeah, it was a sea of fans. It was good to see everybody out, even with the rain. So this is Pennsylvania racing in a nutshell. You look at the weather on Sunday, 3% chance of rain. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful but hot Sunday. We get up there Sunday morning. It's breezy. It's cool. People are wearing jackets. I'm like, what's going on? Rains for 2 hours. That's Pennsylvania racing in a nutshell. Just
I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. You know
it,
what we were all expecting. No one saw it coming. No one. It just like craziest shit I've ever seen, and I'm like, there's no way. And I knew though, once it got going, it was going to be hot, and it that was the only thing I was right about all day.
yeah, it
Was
did.
it got freaking hot?
It got hot, but I will say this: I'm not even sunburnt, and I'm a little bit on my neck a little bit, but like I didn't even put on sunscreen. I don't think yesterday really. Like I didn't even really get sunburnt, so like it was hot, but it wasn't oppressive like today. Like I know it was hot in other areas, really, but like I think because of the rain and everything in the morning, it kind of kept things relatively in check. But it was still hot. I'm not saying it was like cool or anything. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So yeah, definitely had a great time on Sunday. It was awesome. It was really cool that you guys got to be there with Chase Briscoe. With him winning and everything, and you got a pretty dope ass picture of him I saw on your photos page going down the front stretch there. It was awesome. You get some more good ones?
I have more to get done. I got to catch up on the dirt stuff first. There is some other cool, like, just the some of the pit guys had some really badass helmets, like full face reflective visor, like LED, like at their like where their chin would be, and they look like the helmets reminded me if they were going to jump out of a plane in a wingsuit, like
Yeah,
aerodynamic freaking helmet,
yeah,
like just super cool sights and scenes. And I got to be honest, man, I've always wondered, like, it'd be cool to shoot a cup race as a photographer. I got to figure out how to do one. Like
yeah.
having a little bit more access and some things that like I could just already envision what I could get. Pocono's probably pretty difficult, I think, and maybe in the scheme of things to get the cars doing
Yeah.
something cool from where you can go and where you can't go. But some of the pit stuff that I'm going to be able to get and hopefully get posted here this week, pretty cool. I'm happy with it. I mean, for what I had access to,
Yeah.
super neat stuff. I got some cool garage stuff like, the tech shed with the blackout tent,
Yep.
got kind of walked in there, looked at that a little bit, and all the things as a kind of a fan of it, just was neat to see it in person and like understand the scope of how all that shit happens. Like, and the amount of fans just crawling that place and keeping everybody like kind of like reined in and into pits.
Mm.
It was insane. It was insane. And the fact that like there's definitely people get in the way and we had to like move a couple times and you're in it. Literally standing by a tires on pit lane in their pit box, just standing there while they're like trying to win a
Getting ready.
race and win
Yeah.
a championship. Like it's a level of like, yeah, I've been into pits a lot, but didn't think I would be able to just stand there.
Yeah.
Like it's awesome. And did everything I could to stay out of the way, but like they didn't really bother. They were cool as long as I stayed over and did my thing and I wasn't in their way. When they were ready to work, you back up, get out of the way.
They're
But when
used
they
to
were
it.
just hanging out, you could just kind of hang out,
Right.
like you weren't like up there shoulder to shoulder with them, but at the back of the box, but there's tires laying right there, going to go in the car soon, right there. And I'm like, this is freaking cool, man. It's just neat. And,
Yeah.
and as a rookie of that, like some people probably maybe they get to do that 10 times a year or something, but like as a rookie of it, it was just a great experience.
That's awesome. Yeah, we had a great time there all weekend. Well, I did it all weekend. Sunday it was pretty cool. Matt Trey says it was nice seeing you. I guess on Sunday, right? Is that what he
Yeah,
said?
he was up all weekend. I guess Saturday, Sunday. He was with the 8 team. I guess you didn't help their luck any, so you're not the golden ticket for them. But pretty cool. He was got up on the pit box there. It looks like, and he walked by me at one point, tapped me on the shoulder. He scared the hell out of me. I thought I was getting like tapped on the shoulder to get out of the way, and it was somebody I knew. I'm like, Jesus, come on, man. Scared the hell out of me because I was in a pit box at that point, kind of just standing. I thought somebody was tapping me on the shoulder that I was in their way. I was like, oh no. I jumped to like, oh shit, one of those deals. So yeah, it was good seeing me. I saw a few familiar faces up through there. I saw Brent Smith, photographer, he was shooting. I yelled at him at one point, but man, he was like going. I saw a couple other people I've recognized around dirt tracks here and there, but was just neat. And amongst dude, so many people. When we left, and everybody was pretty much still there. The sea of cars. I've never seen that many cars in one place at one time in my life. And I worked in car dealerships and went to like factories, like crazy shit. Never saw that many cars in my life in one place. Insane.
And
Super cool.
I think some of the cool things too for like, and I could tell Saturday and Sunday, like you could just tell families that maybe aren't even racing fans just go out and have a great time. You know what I mean? They bring the whole family. It's really cool. They NASCAR does a good job of throwing on events, but Pocono in particular, they do a really good job with it. I think they're one of the best in the series to do it for sure. Because I've been to plenty of other tracks, and I just think Pocono's heads and shoulders above the rest. You could say what you want about the racing there and the next gen and all that shit, but it's still a great time. So highly recommend it if you've never done it.
I'll tell you this: that was the third straight sellout and the fifth straight camping sellout. I read there's not many tracks other than the Crown Jewels who can claim sellouts these days.
Nope.
Think about that.
And that's and like they were legitimate. Like I said, there were some empty seats over in our section, but like those were like the last sections to sell because we got our tickets very late. Everywhere else was packed. There wasn't an empty seat from like for 90% of the grandstands. And if there are empty seats, they're probably in the pit paddock area. You know what I mean? Or they're out walking around because I mean you can't even walk around out in the pit fair or anything or the fanfare or anything. So yeah. But yeah, great time. So we're gonna move on though. It was good seeing a lot of people. We saw a lot of people, like we said, Jim Tenerelli, he was down there, and yeah, it was just a good time. So let me share my screen. So let's start with 410 sprint cars here in Central PA. We're gonna start with Friday night at Williams Grove, where Chad Trout gets the win over Austin Bishop and Ryan Newton on your podium. Troy Wagaman Jr., Brock Zierfoss, Justin Whittle, Lance DeWeese, Freddie Raymer, Chase Dietz, and TJ Stutz round out your top 10. Chad Trout's first career victory at Williams Grove, correct?
Was. Yeah.
Awesome to see him finally get one done there. What'd you see from this race on Friday?
Handicapping. Yeah, we haven't had many this year in the 410s. It's 2 for 2. I saw a great one at Lincoln. I saw a good one at Williams Grove. Those top three, look, there's no passing in the top three, but that wasn't the story of this race. The story of this race was Chad Trout showing he has the speed we've all seen many times, and he didn't close the deal, and he did. Austin Bishop needed this run, right? Struggle bus hard this year.
Yeah.
And what I learned from this, and this is hard, right? This sport is difficult at what we do in Central PA. It is hard to be good for long, and it's hard to be good at like results wise. Austin Bishop's been on the struggle bus all year. They just haven't had even inconsistency. They haven't really had a lot of highs yet. This shows to me they have speed. Austin knows what to do. They just had to be in the right position to show it. When you start 18th every week, it's hard to show off a lot of speed, and you're just trying not to wreck the car. You're overdriving it or whatever the case may be. He did his job all night. Ryan Newton. We're going to show here. This is Ryan Newton has back-to-back good nights, and it feels like he's turning a little bit of a corner from late last week. He was there. He was hanging on. He was doing a good job. Then here's your handicap guys: Troy, Brock, Whittle, Lance, Freddie, and Chase.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, Justin started fifth. I think Justin would look back and probably not be real thrilled with his finish, starting fifth in a handicap show, thinking like, man, hey, I got this. But these guys had to go past these cars, not only in their heat and then in their feature. They had to go get it. And it was fun to watch them battle up there. Troy probably was one of the fastest cars. Lost brakes behind Ryan Newton, couldn't dive into corner any harder, kind of settled where he got once he got there, and ended up with no brakes. Came into pits like waving like I can't stop y'all. I got nothing. So but at the end of the day, that's the handicap story of this. This was cool. Chad Trout gets the win.
Yeah.
And
Awesome to see him win.
my apologies. On Friday night, I was out of sync. My phone was all messed up all week. I didn't even put up a winner's photo of Chad. I didn't put up a winner's photo of USAC. I was all out of sorts. So my apologies if anybody that watches this or watches my photos page. Y'all probably watched it on Dirt Vision, or you were there anyway, so or Flow or
Yeah.
whatever it was on. I don't even know. I'm confused. Maybe it was on both. But anyway, good stuff. Congrats, Chad Trout. I mean, one of the happier victory lanes I've seen in a while for a show that isn't a touring show, right? Or a
Yeah.
speed week show or a 20 grand to win. And that's fair. I've seen this a couple times, right? With guys who get their first wins or first wins in a long time. This was awesome, man. It couldn't have been happier for them and that whole team.
Dylan Sterner says, love that the top 3 all first-time podium finishers at the Grove. So that's even on top of Chad winning. Like you said, Austin Bishop's been needed that good run. Ryan Newton's been looking better. Get their first podiums here at Williams Grove, which is not an easy place to get, especially to hold off guys like Troy and Brock and Lance. Not easy to do. It looked like Lance DeWeese was your hard charger, +9. Also, Doug Hammaker went +9, but he finishes 12th. Yeah, there was. I don't remember how many cars there were. There was a 12-car B main, so guess that would be 30 cars they had. Pretty good turnout. I think one of the coolest things that I saw come out of this was, and Santos just said it, the blackout of 2025. Some awesome pictures, I got to say, of the lights being out at the track, but the haulers kind of still lighting up the inside, and just some people got some really good photos of some stuff. It just was cool. I guess there was a car accident not too far away that took out some power. And how long was it out? Maybe like 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes. It really wasn't bad. All things considered. I was a little bit like, oh boy, like there's no way this has happened to Williams Grove.
Yeah,
Like, come
right.
on, man.
Yeah, I had to deal with all
But
the rain, and
thankfully,
then you get that.
I was a little bit like, oh no, so it really wasn't too bad at all. But really, we were standing there, nobody knew. Like as where we were standing, couldn't hear a whole lot. And I was like, oh boy, oh no. So, but they did a good job getting things back up and running. So it was pretty cool. Something
Yes.
different.
Yeah, definitely. It's always something like you said. I mean, they've had you brought it up. I think before the race on Friday night, we're at the end of June here, and you're having your first handicap race. That's how bad the weather has been to try to get any of these races in to get to handicapping at all. And then then you finally get a great, beautiful weather night. USAC's in town. Looked like a great crowd on hand. And you get that. So, yeah, car accident on campground road. Wires fell on the car. Oof. So yeah,
I'll tell you what. Let me see if I can do this here. Here's I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let me know if you can see that.
I can. Oh, that's sick.
So
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
the race. That's the racetrack right behind the car, and it should have been. There were USAC cars lining up on the racetrack. Now they weren't under power yet, but they were getting pushed out, and the lights black. So it created a little spotlight on the car there, and like I said, you can tell that that's right against the inside wall there to the racetrack.
Yep.
So pretty neat for sure.
Just some awesome points of view from a lot of different photographers. I know for you and our buddy Chopstick Media, Jack Young, he posted some really cool ones. It was interesting. Daniel Lee brings up a great point. Glad the lights out when they did. It could have been under green. That could have been really bad, for sure. So I guess silver lining and everything. Santos. I also want to point out, you're looking at the leading fantasy points leader at the Grove. Shout out Santos. Good job, buddy. Want to know why? It's because you watched his show and you get the good information from. No, I'm kidding.
Educated.
I'm kidding. You're smarter than we are. So shout out to you. Let's take a quick look at the points where Freddie Raymer has a 10-point lead on Troy Wagaman Jr. Lance Deweese, Brock Zierfoss tied 200 points behind, and then Chase Dietz and TJ Stutz tied as well, 250 points behind Freddie. Then Chad Trout, Danny Dietrich, Justin Whittle, and Anthony Macri round out your top 10. Billy Dietrich did run the 48 for Danny, who was out. I mean, he ran his own car. He put the 4 on it to run for the points for Danny. He finishes 19th here, but he had actually a pretty decent weekend. We'll talk about that here in a second at Lincoln. But he did run the 48 there for Danny. We'll go into USAC here all together at once here after we get through the 410. So we'll go through the USAC feature there. Let's go to Lincoln on Saturday. $10,000 to win. Steve Smith tribute, and Troy Wagaman Jr. gets to win over Tyler Ross, who finishes second with a little bit of controversy. Maybe we'll talk about that here in a second. Ryan Newton back-to-back podium with a third here. Matt Campbell, Cam Smith, Aaron Bollinger, Billy Dietrich, 17th to 7th, hard charging. Brandon Raymer, Kyle Moody, and Logan Rumsey rounding out your top 10. Brett Strickler, P11. Shout out Brett. Let's go. Jordan Strickler in 14th. But Troy, I mean, he looked really good in this one. Just kind of set sail. Before we talk about Troy, there's a little dust up here between Tyler Ross and Freddie Raymer that a lot of people were talking about. From your point of view, you were there on Saturday. What did you see?
0. I still haven't seen it at all.
You still haven't seen it at all? Okay.
Didn't even know Freddie was wrecked. I had still, after the race was over, I found out he wasn't back in the lineup. I have no idea what happened. So I'm going to go to YouTube while you're talking, and I'm going to go look at it because I totally forgot, number one. Number two, I didn't see it live. I was on the other end of the racetrack.
You're on the other end of the racetrack. So to me, I mean, I watched it on Flow. I was watching it when it happened. I think you could tell Tyler wasn't very happy before all this with the way Freddie was maybe driving him. And then it looked like Freddie was in 1 and 2. It's hard to tell from Flow. I mean, from sitting on my couch, you know what I mean? It looked like Freddie kind of ran Tyler tight on the exit of 2. Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second, Santos. But it looked like he left Tyler room, but I just think Tyler was kind of fed up with him at that point, and he definitely turned down on him and just turned Freddie. Just chopped him off. Kind of. I was surprised that there was, I think it's just a racing thing where, hey, like you're racing each other hard and something's got to give. But to me, it looked like Freddie left him a little bit of room, maybe not enough. But like I said, it went back from laps throughout the entire feature, I think, where Tyler just had enough. But it reminded me of the Aaron Reitzel Cody Hartlaub deal at BAPS a little bit. Maybe not quite as extreme. But I mean, it was kind of the same move. I don't know. That's why I kind of want to know from somebody who was there, who maybe had a different angle. Just because from what it looked like on Flow, it didn't really look great.
And it sounds like there was, pretty hard racing leading up to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I heard some of that. And I saw some of that, like Freddie, Matt Campbell, Tyler Ross. Some pretty aggressive stuff. And this track was kind of tricky. Like it was super slow in the heats, and they really worked the top. The top was there, but it was still like, I'm kind of watching this and like, it's not super hammer down fast. Like guys are sort of tiptoeing a little bit here and there. Oh, Rumsey just did a 360 in this race. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
He did a 360 and keeps going? Question mark? Or was that the accident? I didn't see anything. Okay, so there's the 3 of them there. There's Ross and Raymer. So it's Campbell. I'm just kind of watching this now. I know we can't share it, but I'm sort of reliving it. Campbell slides Newton. Oh, wheel stand. Newton gets back around. I didn't see a lot of turn under slider deals there, so that was nice. Ryan Newton able to turn back under. Trying to, but yeah, this was Troy did his job. Back to back years, he won
Yes.
this race. He won this race
Yes.
last year, and now Troy. I don't know if you're listening. You might be. I'm going to tell you this. You won this race last year. It was your third win of the year, I believe, at that point. Icebreaker, Steve Smith, and one other. This was your third race win of the year. This better not be it, my guy. We got to get more wins. So, there's Campbell just fed Freddie a right rear.
They were racing hard,
Slider that
man.
didn't.
They were
Yeah.
definitely racing hard.
Okay, is Freddie yellow's out? Oh, okay, that's where Talon Haas spun. So right now Ross is still fifth. Let's see here.
Yeah, Ross was
Campbell,
fast. I mean, he was very fast.
he was good. Yeah. He was he was really good and he was aggressive. He was racing with Cody Hartlaub in the heat and um, got around Cody. There we go. Let's see. All right, there's a slider. He passes Freddie, goes to slide up, lets Campbell lane. All right, and there goes Campbell. Now Freddie, is this where Freddie feeds him? Nope. Okay. So, but Troy, you got to win more races. My God. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Okay. So he tried to pinch Ross down, didn't work. They're down the backstretch here. Freddie dives into 3 and 4. They're still clean off of 3 and 4. They're battling hard. Ross has the position. There comes Freddie. Does he close this off? Down the back. Oh, okay. I see it. That wasn't, I mean, hey, that wasn't even that egregious. It is what
It
it is.
wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. It looked like
Yeah.
there was
Well,
room, but for how
yeah,
hard that they were racing, you don't know.
you don't know. And honestly, Freddie went all the way up the racetrack there. Didn't
Yeah.
leave a lot of choices for Ross to get down off the hill. At Lincoln, they don't like stay up and up and not like they got to come down off of that a little bit to get down the backstretch. So that's hard racing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard racing, and it looked like hard racing before that, and that's just how it ended up. So, hey, Tyler Ross moves on.
Yeah, it just at the time I'm like, oh boy, that kind of gave me shades of the Reitzel Hartlaub deal, but just because they were racing so hard, and it's awkward off of turn 2 there. It looked like maybe, like I said, from Flo, I think from the camera there, maybe looks like there's more room there off of 2 than there actually is, and I think he was just trying to get his line set up for turn 3, maybe.
Sure.
And just kind of, right? And he's going to try to cut off Freddie a little bit there to get him off his ass. You know what I mean? Which rightfully so.
Absolutely. Playing offense and defense at the same time in 2 different places, that's part of the deal.
Right.
I've certainly seen worse. But that kind of reaction from the crowd, I did hear something but I never saw it. So,
yeah.
Great run for Tyler Ross going into Speed Week. Should see the new car this week, by the way. New race car.
Oh.
Kind of was previewed a couple weeks ago. A little reverse on the scheme, a little more white dominant. Great run for Ryan Newton, right? Back-to-back nights. Good momentum for him. He needed that. Probably Matt Campbell a little disappointed starting where he did and didn't was battling all the way up to almost second, get the fourth. They were just missing a little bit there. But I'll say this. I talked to Troy after the race and I said, you led every lap, but Ryan Newton was on you that whole time. Troy never really had a time to take a breath, and he didn't. Ryan Newton was really, really good. And Troy slips up, he's losing this race. So he earned the right to start on the pole, led every lap, but I can tell you it wasn't easy. That's for damn sure. Shout out Billy Dietrich. Great run.
Yeah.
Said Friday night, he was back Friday night and hadn't been in the race car in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Said he felt a little rusty out there in hot laps. You could tell he'd been out of the car for a little bit. So, hell of a run. I was watching some of the lines he was running, and it was kind of middle, bottom, but kind of rolling the middle 1 and 2, just slow and steady. I don't want to use that in a bad way. This was a good way because the way that track was, didn't have to run up on the wall to make speed, and man, climbed right through the field. So, Yeah, no, there, right here, right? Like Billy,
Hmm.
put that on the screen. You're
Yep.
you're 100% right. I'm just looking at it like, watching the laps from those views, hundreds, thousands of laps off turn two there, it can get a little narrow. And listen, Tyler absolutely could have just went a little left, right? A little
Yeah.
left, but
Yeah.
he but he puts himself at just as much risk by that move there.
Absolutely.
We've seen cars just go flipping down the backstretch. So he maybe got lucky if he did do a little bit of like aggressive, like, hey,
I
I
think
don't want
everybody.
this to, you know,
I think everybody could see kind of the lead up to it too, because it was. I it was hard racing for a long time before that with between them and Matt Campbell. Um, so I think if that's just like a normal, like nobody even thinks of it, even if it is just them two guys. I think because there was just a visible, really hard racing before that, people
100%.
automatically go there, especially since it's Freddie.
Correct. Right. And
Mm.
listen, he's earned the right to feel like people are going to give it back.
Yep.
Right. He's earned that right to say, do me dirty, you're going to get it back, right? Not a lot of guys will get grace of one of those and going, okay, that's not that. Wow, that wasn't normal of that person. This one, it's kind of like everyone probably has a lot shorter leash, for Freddie over the years, just being aggressive. That comes with the territory. Sometimes you're going to get it back, right? And if that's what that was, then so be it.
Yep.
Um, and good for Tyler Ross if that was the case, right? Don't take that. You're up here. You're fast.
Right.
You've earned the right to be up here too.
And
You
he's
don't have
he's
to take
fighting
it, right?
for not just his position, but like also his line coming off that corner. So,
Yep,
but
exactly.
to our audio listeners, Billy Dietrich said, "No offense to anyone, but you'll never understand what the perspective is from being in the car. Um, lots, and I mean lots of stuff goes on that could very easily be justifiable to quote retaliate. There's only a few cars that drive quote at other cars intentionally. So kind of giving a little bit of insight there as to you know just kind of racers code a little bit there, if you want to call it that. Just kind of
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
you guys know what's going on in the car a little bit more than what our eyes can see from the stands and from TV. So, um, and they're
Or
in
the
it, they're in
emotions
the
of it,
moment
right?
and the emotions.
We
Yeah.
don't kn we don't know what they're thinking in the moment or what they perceived in the race car, right? Because hey, we've seen that. Guys do something and feel like they get out of the race car pissed off, and they felt like they got done dirty, and
Hmm.
nobody else saw it. Nobody else realized that's what happened. Or the driver, right, felt like they got done dirty, and everybody's like, "What do you mean done? What that was?" It
Right.
goes both ways, right? And Billy's been around a minute. He knows and can tell, and he's an experienced guy and can really gauge that. Probably a pretty good gauge of that, I'd say, under because he's not a guy who's going to have people do that to him. And if it gets done, it's like, whoa, my guy, right? Because he's not a guy that's going to get in those dust ups with an aggressive driving style. So,
Right.
like, if it gets done to him, he can probably pretty be a good judge of like, okay, all right, okay, I see how it's going to go now, right? So, yeah, no, just short track race. That's short track racing for you,
Yep.
and good racing to be honest with you. I'm glad Troy stunk it up. We're fans. Good for him. He did his job.
Oh yeah.
Um, but there was some good racing going on through here. Honestly, there was a lot happening. It was fun.
Yeah. Shout out Troy. Awesome. I think this is his form lately is really good. A really good sign of to come for Speed Week. Because I'm assuming that they're running full Speed Week. I'm not
They are.
sure. I would imagine
I believe
so.
so.
After what he did, him and Cody last year were really impressive running a
Mhm.
full Speed Week last year, and I'm excited to see if, especially Troy, what they can do this year. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Santos, the fact that Rumsey spun out, went to the back, and still came back for a top 10 finish. He's one to watch for years to come. Absolutely. We've been talking about Logan for a while. He's got a lot of talent, and it's good to see him get more and more 410 laps. You have a
I
funny
was talking
story.
to somebody. I was talking to somebody about Logan, like during hot laps, and just his driving style and what he in a 410 and what it reminds me of. And he's a pretty like during the race, you don't see him make a lot of wild moves during the race. He finds the air. He does a good job of keeping up momentum. Like he passes cars, you don't see him doing crazy stuff, right? Well, we're standing there and we're watching hot laps, and here comes Rumsey, just middle of the corner, wheels in the air, just hammering the hell out of it. And I'm like, okay, he's calm during the racing. Okay. Like he's a wild man during hot laps and time trials. And uh Logan turns into Kyle Larson during time trials, and he turns into Donnie Schatz during racing. Like in a good Donnie Schatz. Like
Yeah.
he like he, and I see every time he gets in this 410, like he does something else, and I'm like, that's not a guy who's had like 10 starts. He gets it, man. He learns so well and so quick. And yeah, I saw that spin there at 360. I don't remember seeing that either. I wasn't near that. Yellow would come out, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is for. I never saw it. I couldn't hear anything. The fact that if he spun out and came back through there, pretty impressive.
Yeah. Before I go into these other ones, let's go with James. Do you think chopping has been playing a bigger factor than many years ago? Back in the day, you did something stupid on the track, expect someone waiting for you when you get off the track. Post that meme of Ricky Stenhouse waiting at Kyle Busch's hauler. Yeah, I think so, a little bit. I mean, sometimes the best way is to get punched in the mouth. I don't think you see a lot of that these days, for better or for worse.
Well, Jimmy, here's the thing.
But
It's happened and it hasn't changed. That
what do you mean?
getting hit in the Freddie's been in his dust up a time or two.
Sure. Yeah.
Doesn't sound like it's made a difference. So do you play victim, or do you go do it
You
back
got
if
it.
you need to
Got
do
it.
it?
Yeah, you got it. You got to do what you got to do out there on the track then to make sure it doesn't happen to you then.
Right? Like
Right.
there is that whole um what does Trump say? Diplomacy through strength, Jimmy. We'll play offense before we have to play defense, kind of thing,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be. I'm not getting into politics here, but there's something to be said about that chess game a little bit on the racetrack. Are you going to let it happen to you, and play the victim, or are you going to
Or you're gonna get out
say,
in front
hey,
of it.
I gave you a shot, you did me dirty, you ain't going to do it again? So listen, if that's what Tyler felt, then good for him, and that's what he did. It worked out for him because it could have just as easily wrecked both those damn cars if he did that with intent than just hard racing. Could have just as easily wrecked himself. And that's not great either. That's the hard part, right? I think a lot of guys end up on the losing end of that aggressiveness from Freddie. It works for him sometimes. He's won some races because of it. Are you willing to do the same if you're going to go win a race? No, some of the guys aren't willing to go do that, and that's okay. They don't want to be that kind of racer. Then at the same time, though, you can't play the victim if you let it happen to you over and over again. Like,
Right. Right.
that's my thought on it as a competitor. I've been in competitive sports. I mean, not racing, but I'm not dumb to competition. Like it's not a foreign subject to me. So, but yeah, listen, there's also money involved and sponsors and all these other things. And I'd rather a guy's brain take over than their emotions. So, we'll see. I guess we'll see moving forward. I can't imagine there's much to going forward. It was just hard racing. So it is what
Okay.
it is.
I hear you. All right. So here's got a couple comments on it. I'm gonna read them off. Santos says, "Oh boy, everybody wants to talk about Ross versus Raymer. Let's talk about the fact that they had 25 cars and still ran a B main." And then Matt Bird says, "Question of the night: 24 cars at Lincoln versus 35 cars at Port." Casey Hepler said, "Well, I know Dietz because he was at Port running double duty with Silver Crown." But yeah, I mean, running a B main.
I didn't want to be mad tonight. I wanted this to be a fun show.
We could still be fun. I don't think we need to harp on this. I don't like having to run a B main for this when there's 25 cars. I don't see why you don't just start them all. But at the same time, that's their prerogative. So,
well, listen, it was a business decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
it was a business decision for the track.
Yep.
You can figure out what that means.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, still some good runs here for a lot of guys. Dominic, is it me? Am I crazy, or does it feel like this is the first time Dominic Molaire's been out in like a month or so? It's been a while, hasn't it? I mean,
No,
maybe because of the rain, it just seems that way.
he's been out a time or two at Lincoln. Not a lot though. With the spotty starts here and there, and I think he wrecked one, not pretty hard.
Yeah.
One of the last times out. Um, so the car count thing. Okay, I do want to talk about that briefly, just
Yeah.
because you look at the roster that was at Port.
Right. I agree.
Um,
I was just gonna say that.
there wasn't a lot of guys that were going to cross over, right?
No.
There weren't a lot.
There's a lot of
Um,
surprise entries at Port too, by the way. Like guys
yeah,
out of
and
nowhere.
we didn't have Jordan Givler. They were planned to have this weekend off, even though it was a makeup. You didn't have Macri in town. You didn't have Dietz because of Silver Crown. Dietrich was out in Ohio.
Yep.
You didn't have any real travelers. Ohio guys were doing their thing. My big thing here wasn't that the fact that there were less cars. My thing was I didn't love the reschedule in this date. Now,
Mhm.
I'm not the track, so I don't know what parameters or what constraints they had, but even for the fans, like it wasn't a great fan count. And to me, visually, for the payout that had to be done, and I just don't love that it was this weekend with Pocono, because there were, like, it felt like all of Pennsylvania was in Pocono. That hurts.
Mhm.
And that's a one time a year thing. I With Silver Crown being up at Port, some folks that maybe were impartial wanted to go see Silver Crown went to Port, right? Couple. Add all that up and combine it, you know, the weather wasn't a factor. We still didn't have a great crowd. I just didn't love that this race got moved to this date. I I was even conflicted because I didn't want to miss this race, but I want to go see Silver Crown, right? As a
Mhm.
fan of that, because it's one time a year around here. So I think it was just, yeah, you're right, Emily. You're 100% right. Like, and that's
Mhm.
what I'm saying. Like, I get it. I just didn't. I don't love it, right? Because I think it deserves better. Excuse me. I want to say it deserves better. It deserves to be a showcase event, and I hate that it got rained out the first time. Makes it even harder. I'm glad that the event still happened, and we were able to pay Troy Wagaman $10,118, and I love that.
Yes.
I wish you all got the support with timing right and got the support with the cars and the fans. That's where I'm going with it. Like, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, in a sense, in the scheduling this way. And the car counts. I think the last race only had like just barely a field on the same race for $10,000. It's just a timing thing. So good, bad, or indifferent, Troy's not going to complain about that, right? He, he he got the job done and gets to walk away with the check. So um, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, Norris was out of town. Ryan Smith, if he would
Yeah.
have, Lucas Wolf was a surprise. Where was Lucas? Was he at Port?
He was at Port. Yeah.
Because most of the time this year, he's going where there's been time trials and/or better pay. Interesting that 5 grand versus 10 grand to have a shot at it with not all the quote unquote best PA cars, Dietrich and Macri and Dietz not being there. Some of those guys, TJ Stutz, Lucas Wolf, I was a little bit surprised. That kind of
Mhm.
did surprise me a little. And I'm not there. They all probably have very valid reasons. Um, yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
suck.
Lucas has kind of showed up. You're right. We're kind of almost wherever, but I said this last week. It kind of feels like, and when we get in the Port here in a second, that USAC night, I feel like there's just guys who have a sprint car that are fans of USAC and want to go. You know what I mean? Like, or just fans of that night or whatever. You know what I mean? I think that's why they see a boost in car count for just, they're not even the headline show at Port, and it's just a regular show. So, just a couple comments here. Emily Winslow said one of the cars was 12 miles per hour. Going back to Lincoln, one of the cars was 12 miles per hour slower than the fastest car. Had nothing to do with business. It was safety. Um, okay.
Well, we
Um,
also let him. We also let him register as a 410, and when he didn't have a 410 in the car, I mean, the car didn't even run. It was barely running. It was a 358.
yeah, and
So
I mean
he
at
tried
the
to
same
do. He
time,
tried to.
you run. Say somebody has to pull off in that B main, and that car still gets in anyway. You know what I mean?
And he
There's
was
a
there
lot,
for the
of
start
ifs,
money.
a lot of
He was going
ifs.
to
Yeah.
start. He was going to start and park the car. He's done that over the years, early in the spring. Show up as a 358, see the car
Hmm.
count, and register as a 410 to get the start money.
So I
That's
get
what he
it.
was
Yeah.
trying to do, and it didn't
Yep.
work out, right? And I'll be honest with you. Like Talon Haas is learning. He was only slightly faster than his 358. He made the A and spun
Mhm.
out twice, 3 times. I love Talon. I want to see him grow, but he
That's
wasn't
how you
much
get
faster.
laps. That's how you get laps done. You
Like
know what I mean? You got to get
100%.
out
No,
there. You know.
100%. And I almost feel bad a little bit that like I almost feel bad a little bit for Zach. Like he tried to play the system a little and get his start money for the 410 race, and then didn't get anything because he didn't make it.
Which
But
maybe that's
kind of
like you said, if it's something that they do repeatedly, maybe it's
well, he took
a
that risk,
send a
and then
message.
another
Yep.
car showed up, or he was banking on somebody again wrecking or not being able to make the show, and him to get in for that. So I don't know. I just and they did shorten it. They shortened the B main, to eliminate that one car.
Hmm.
It just if he made it and got the start money, he was going to start in park.
Right. 358s. Jaden Wolf, shout out, gets to win over Jude Siegel and Cody Fletcher. Matt Finley, Tyler Ehrlich, Ashley Capetta, Aiden Hare, Eli Tuckey, Kyle Spence, and Wyatt Hinkle, your top 10. We saw a guy in a Wyatt Hinkle shirt at Pocono. It was very random. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, shout out Wyatt. We saw a Dirt modified shirt and a Wyatt Hinkle shirt. I mean, we saw a lot of other ones, but they were
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Martin, Donnie shots. But
I
we
saw a
saw a
couple of
Wyatt
Lucas
Hinkle shirt.
ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome for Jaden Wolf. Good to see him back in victory lane. Especially for a guy we didn't even know if he was going to be racing this year. Now, here we are. He's winning races. So, kid with a shit ton of talent. Good to see him in victory lane.
Good bounce back after a real shitty last one they had. They did not get it right on the last one, so this is a good bounce back. And I'm going to tell you what, I've talked about Jude Siegel before, and there's people kind of like, okay, Jeremy, okay, are you sure, Jay Z? Jude Siegel is going to win a race at some point, and it won't be very long, I think. Jaden's a good race car driver, and it's his I want to say fourth career 358 win. And he didn't get away. Same thing here. Now I did talk to Jaden. He said, "Well, I wasn't really driving that hard. I was kind of like keep an eye on things." And I heard someone close, and I'd pick it up a little. Like he wasn't trying to use his stuff up. He had on used tires from somebody he picked them up off of for free or something. Putting it together. So good for him. Cody Fletcher was making a run at it. Was trying like hell. Matt Finley lost a few spots there. Tyler Orrick hung around. Ashley, held her ground. Aiden Hare +6 doing his thing again. Good job on a track that was hard to pass. Eli Tuckey had a fourth place starting spot, went backwards a little. I think he got a little out experienced at times in this one. Maybe they missed it just a little because he's been really good early in the night. They'll figure out some of this stuff late and they'll get him going. And Kyle Spence, I mean, come on, man, 9-9, you're better than this, Ant.
Well,
We need to get the premier Ant base setup shop going, not the regular one.
Well, Ant said if Kyle didn't draw for the 358 already, I was ready to sign it with the 410s. I was talking about it on the way up. Said count the cars before you draw.
Yeah.
But hey, you got a top 10.
So hung in there. That was their second race of the year, first one at Lincoln this year. So looks like I did see a post they might make it back out to Williams Grove Friday night for their first Williams Grove 358 race of the year. I didn't look at the weather for Friday. 358s are back at Williams Grove. They're going to try again. I ain't looking at it. I'm not looking. I don't even want to know. I'm going to wait. I'm waiting until like Wednesday. Then we can talk about it. We're not talking about weather on this show.
No, I don't even have it pulled up, so we're not talking about it.
Good.
There's too much weather. There's too much weather because it's a whole week. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to predict. But it does look good if I remember correctly. But yeah, Ashley Capetta's just been super consistent. Been awesome to see her. She's basically just like every week, just in the top 5, right around the top 5 there, kind of mid, top 10. Very, very consistent. Very, very good to see. So let's go to Port Royal, or I'm sorry, let's take a look at the 410 points here at Lincoln, where Troy has a 250-point gap now on Matt Campbell, 390 points on Freddie Raymer. Then it's Chase Dietz, Tyler Russ, Cam Smith, Aaron Bollinger, Danny Dietrich, Chad Trout, and Brandon Raymer, your top 10. Troy is starting to stretch his legs in this a little bit. That's what a win will help with that for sure. Trying to stretch his legs a little bit to try to go back-to-back here at Lincoln. All right, Port Royal.
Okay, wait.
Oh, go ahead.
Put Ant Bay's comment on the screen.
Tried something
The
knowing we
most
were
recent
starting.
one. No, the
No,
hey, we won hot laps. Okay,
we won
for
hot.
everybody watching this, hey, we won hot laps and we went 7-2 in the heat. Give us some credit, damn it. Okay, hot laps, right? All equal. You won hot laps. You started fourth in your heat, my guy. They all crashed, so you got to start fourth, and we're second by turn 2. Let's relax a minute. All right, you went fourth to second. Really? All right, go ahead.
All right.
I was watching. I was watching. I was watching, boy. Don't think I wasn't watching.
Matt said, "I missed you at Port, Jimmy. I know, but Chris was there. I know you met up with him for these awesome stickers that we'll talk about later. Um, but yeah, I missed being at Port for this one. I'm sad that I missed it. It's kind of sucks that they kind of moved everything back, and now it's the same as Pocono weekend. Now that they moved Pocono up, but regardless, Mike Wagner gets the win here, up 5 positions over Justin Whittle, who was your hard charger, +9, and Garrett Bard. Still, man, he's been looking really good there. Another podium for him. Lance DeWeese, 10th to 4th. Jeff Halligan, Blaine Heimbach, Austin Bishop, Chase Steeds, Brock Searfoss, and Derek Hauk in the 12J. Round out your top 10. Yeah, awesome to see Mike Wagner back at Victory Lane. Moved his way up in this one. I didn't see too much of the feature, to be honest, so I have to go back and watch it at some point. But just good to see him back at Victory Lane. Kyle Keen out there in the 53. Car looked good. Yeah. Any thoughts from this one?
I saw some of the highlights. I mean, my big takeaway is that crash. I'm glad, thankfully, everybody's okay.
Yeah.
The big crash with JT Ferry and Hammaker and I think Alex Attard.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out all.
Man,
Listen, I didn't really watch this race a ton. There's some movers and shakers, and hopefully it was a good race. But thankfully, all those guys were okay. Because God, man, that was a nasty crash.
that was during the heat race, and Nash, Ely, and Hammaker, they're putting on a damn show. Lance won that heat. He was gone by a country mile, but they were battling hard for laps for second place. It was really fun to watch. And then looked like on the last lap going into turn 1, Doug Hammaker, he just kind of lost it going into 1, hit the wall pretty hard, and JT Ferry he fell into his lap. I did read a post. He has a fractured hand. JT Ferry does. So luckily that's all it was, because it could have been a lot worse. But it was just very, very unfortunate wreck. It was very, very hard. One of the scary ones we've seen there in a while. Probably, I mean, granted, we just saw that one with Zach Hampton not too long ago, but this one was pretty bad. Did something break on the 20?
Yeah, no, nothing broke. He sort of just kind of sent into the corner in the slick, and it just got out from under him, and it was gone. There was like a slick spot, like in the middle of the corner, like all the way through the middle, and there was a cushion, and you could go to the bottom, but like through the middle, it was like guys would kind of go through that and then hit the cushion. Some were kind of getting on the cushion, but he just kind of sent it in there, and it jumped sideways and just slid backwards into the wall in the middle of the corner. So I don't think anything broke the way it looked, but maybe, but it didn't look like it.
Yeah, it just looked like it got out on him. Mike Wagner, though, with the win. We're going to get through here and you take a look at the points here. Justin Whittle now leads 45 points over Lance DeWeese, 85 points over Brock Searfoss, then it's Logan Wagner, Jeff Halligan, Gerard McIntyre, Michael Walter, Cody Lehman, Austin Bishop, and Doug Hammaker, your top 10. This kind of Logan Wagner's still definitely right there. You can't count him out, although he didn't have. Where did he finish here? He finished in the teens. He finished 12th. Went from 8th back to 12th. That's not very Logan Wagner like. But
a good setup in Mike's car, I guess.
Yeah, right. But I mean, it wouldn't be. I mean, Logan could go on a 3-race tear and just do what he does at Port and get right back up into the lead of the points here. But it's very. It looks like it's a 4-car race here, for 4-horse race here right now. Whittle, DeWeese, and Searfoss have been super consistent there at Port. Lance's, I think, if you had to go and if they had the stat of who passed the most cars at Port Royal I mean, maybe shit in central Pennsylvania, but I know especially at Port, it has to be Lance DeWeese. I mean, he has passed so many cars this year. He's always moving forward. So just
What a
see what
top
could happen
four!
if he starts forward.
Like the story of these four guys and their season and where they're at and where they're headed, and it was super interesting storylines there, right?
Yeah,
With Whittle and then Lance and his, what they're up to, and Brock coming home and Logan Wagner and family, like
yeah, the
just
family car now.
super neat storylines, and they're all just sort of like doing their thing right now, and nobody's like taking a hold of this thing yet.
Mm.
It's super interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see how it goes down the stretch here, and it's gonna make the rest of the summer here very, very interesting. All right, so that's Central PA results. Let's take a look at USAC. Starting so first, Grandview got rained out last Tuesday. That was the only one. Yeah, I think they got the rest in. Yeah, they did. Bridgeport was Wednesday night. It rained right about an hour before hot laps were supposed to start, and it made the track a little bit heavy, but they did a good job of getting this one in. Justin Grant gets the win. Shocker. I mean, he's been on fire, man. Gets the late race lead from Mitchell Moles, who finishes second. Briggs Danner with a podium finish in third. Then Kyle Cummings and Dason Pursley rounding out your top five. Some USAC East Coast guys entered in this one. Steven Dravicki. He had Cam Smith out there, making another start in the wingless. JT Ferry was out there. Ed Aiken. Yeah, so track was a little heavy, but I thought it was still a pretty decent feature. And then on Thursday night at Big Diamond, again, some rain early on, but they still got everything in. Kyle Cummings gets the win here over Mitchell Moles and Dason Pursley, your podium, and then Briggs Danner and Jake Swanson was your top five. And then on Friday at Williams Grove, Kevin Thomas Jr. gets the win over Kyle Cummings, Briggs Danner, another podium, Jake Swanson and Justin Grant, your top five. Steven Dravicki getting a sixth place finish. Olivia Thayer was 15th. Dirk Grimrod.
Steven Dravicki had a 360 in that car.
Yeah.
With a 360 all week.
Yeah, they were doing the
That challenge, right?
The challenge where any 358, 360 driver could come out and run, and there were some extra bonuses for people that did that. So you seen Steven Dravicki out there. You had Olivia Thayer, JT Ferry, I think he might have been in a 360. I don't know. I don't know about that one for sure, but yeah. And then Saturday night at Port Royal, Justin Grant gets to win over Briggs Danner, who led the good chunk of this race. Kyle Cummings third, Mitchell Moles fourth, and Robert Ballou was fifth. They set a new track record for a 30-lap feature, I guess. 10 minutes and 53 seconds. And then Silver Crown also on Saturday night at Port Royal. Dason Pursley goes back-to-back years now, winning the Silver Crown race over Justin Grant, Mitchell Moles, Logan Seavey, and Chase Dietz, P5. Carmen Perigo, hard charging 12th to 6th. Briggs Danner, Matt Westfall, CJ Leary, and Jake Swanson round out your top 10. Shout out Carmen Perigo.
I told them before this race happened, though, that he needs to get his ass in gear about 15 laps sooner. Every year he does this. Last 20 laps, here comes Carmen. Imagine if he did that 20 laps sooner. I told Brett, Brett's the spotter. I said, Brett, you better get your dad's ass in gear a couple laps sooner. You might win the damn thing.
Right. Yeah. Chris was there. He was helping them out. Now he's got the Silver Crown bug a little bit. So we saw him in chat talking about that. So that's cool. Silver Crown's awesome, man. It's especially at Port, but I mean, you go to like one of these mile tracks there's nothing like it. But Dason Pursley, man,
Chris does like them big old. He likes them big old girls. I mean, he likes them big girls. He wants to chase them around, boy. He's hooked. He's hooked on them big girls.
But yeah, Dason Pursley, man, just going back-to-back years here in the Silver Crown car. He is, first two starts at Port and a Silver Crown, wins them both. And then yesterday, closing out at Action Track Kutztown, Justin Grant gets the win over Jake Swanson, Kevin Thomas Jr., Kyle Cummins, and C.J. Leary. Your Eastern Storm final points then, Justin Grant and Kyle Cummings were tied. So I'm assuming it went to Justin Grant wins. And then Briggs Danner third, Mitchell Moles fourth, and Jake Swanson was fifth. So it came down to the wire there. Even with Justin Grant having, I feel like he won almost half these races. But Justin Grant took the lead on lap 20 and led the last 20 laps there. Yeah, so just always fun when USAC comes to town.
Yeah, no doubt. Man, I was hoping Briggs would get it done last night. Now he was close a lot this week, but like kind of went backwards. I think they missed it a little bit, and man, I saw him like in fourth from the jump, and I was like, oh, this is it. Here we go. Like last year, he was so close. Him and CV put on a show for the win, and CV got the win from him, and thought it was his time to win there at the action track, but didn't quite get it done. So. But I tell you what, man, he continues to impress in USAC and these full size cars and more experience. He's going to be. I don't know where his career goes, but he's going to be a threat in USAC for a long time.
It's power outages everywhere now, says Billy. I'll have to stay tuned until my phone dies.
Appreciate you being here, Billy,
Yeah,
man.
thank
You're
you.
here each week at some point, man. We appreciate you following along, man. Even if you don't agree all the time, we're okay with that too. We're okay with that, buddy. Hey, nice job this week. Good job at Lincoln, by the way. Hell of a race, man. Great work.
Incredible racing at Kutztown, 39 nonstop laps. Ben, Kutztown is awesome for USAC. And it looks like that event just gets bigger and bigger every year. What were the signs that were in the infield that somebody was holding up?
Briggs is hot.
And then Joey spin here or something like that.
Yeah, Joey spin here, and there was I saw swimming pools, like kiddie pools in the infield with beach balls in them.
It was awesome. Like just
Did you listen to this, Jimmy? Did you listen to this broadcast, by the way?
No, I didn't.
I guess you. Okay, so they have something new at the action track. It's called the Turn 2 Tavern. We were on the way home from Pocono, and the announcer guy, the pit guy, the little skinny kid with glasses, like, we're down here at the Turn 2 Tavern. And I'm like, like you did it 3 times, and I'm like, son of a bitch. The tavern. I was like, son of a bitch. They ripped our shit off.
Well, maybe we could come up with a deal. We could spot the Turn 2 Terribles, Turn 2 Tavern.
Turn 2 Terribles at the Turn 2 Tavern. I mean,
the T2T2T2T. Wait, is that too many? T2T2T.
TTT.
Yeah. Yeah. The TTT.
Is that the TTT?
Hey, that's pretty cool though. But yeah, I didn't listen to the broadcast. Was still at Pocono, but that's awesome. Maybe we'll have to come up with a deal or something.
Yeah, right.
Ohio Speed Week. Shout out Danny Dietrich getting it done for the posse, going out to Ohio and said, "Give me that money." Not only wins Ohio Speed Week, but won the big, was it 26,000 finale? Won that. But he wins Ohio Speed Week points over Tim Schaefer, Cap Henry, Cale Thomas, and Zane DeVault, your top 5. Steven Snyder Jr. looked pretty good all week. He finishes 8th in points. Did Snyder get in a big wreck this weekend? I know we got into one. Yeah.
He wrecked a lot of stuff, and a lot of people wrecked him. I saw a recap that there was more shit torn up. I don't know exactly. The list is long of equipment that they've had torn up during Ohio Speed Week, so I'm not sure if there was a big one at the end there or not. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know, but he got into a couple things, but I don't think it was anything unless something happened on the last night. That was the only night I didn't see anything. But yeah, shout out Danny getting that Ohio Speed Week title, bringing home a lot of money. That's good. That's awesome. Getting geared up now for Pennsylvania Speed Week coming right up. Before we get into that, let's take a look at World of Outlaws. 4 days at Huset's. Lots of money on the line. Kyle Larson won the opener on Wednesday night over Spencer Baston and Buddy Kofoid. David Gravel and Garrett Williamson. Anthony Macri 11th to 6th in that one. Thursday night was $100,000 to win. Buddy Kofoid wins over Bill Baylog, who had a good week. Kyle Larson in third. David Gravel and Tyler Courtney in fifth. Brad Sweet, Hunter Schoenberg, Donnie Shatson, and Anthony Macri with a solid P9. And Rico Abreu in 10th. Then
Hey,
Friday
Jimmy,
night. Go ahead.
hey, I have a question. The Ohio Speedweek thing.
Mhm.
So, PA driver goes and wins it, wins the last race, wins the points.
Yeah, there was an extra
Do we
10
claim
grand,
the
I think, or 5
do we
grand. I believe
claim
it
the
was
whole
5 grand.
state of Ohio? Do we claim the whole state of Ohio as posse now? Like, we just take the whole state? Because we'll make it better.
I was gonna say, do
Make
we
Ohio
want to
great
do that? Because I mean,
It sounds like something we could take on and make Ohio great again. Because I mean, they can't take care of themselves.
didn't we just get out of a drought? Do we really want to waste our
that's-
water? The water we just got back from all this
Yeah, that's
rain
true.
to water their
Yeah.
tracks?
You're right. You're right.
They-
Anyway, just wanted to ask what your thoughts were on that.
Now, can we say that, we're their daddy or daddy? Danny's their daddy? Yeah, we can. We could say that.
Daddy Danny Dietrich.
Daddy Danny Dietrich, father of
I like
Ohio.
That should now be father of Ohio. That should be a Speed Week shirt.
Daddy Danny. All right.
Go ahead.
Friday night, Bill Baylog gets a win over Buddy Kofoid, Garrett Williamson, David Gravel, Sheldon Hanshield in your top 5. And then the big one, $250,000, Buddy Kofoid. He just wins big money races, I guess. Bill Baylog gets second, still $50,000 payday for that one. Sheldon Hanshield gets 25 grand, finishes third. Garrett Williamson, Logan Short, David Gravel, Ryan Timms, Tyler Courtney, Gio Selzy, Cole Macedo, your top 10. Anthony Macri comes home 11th in the main one. Decent weekend out there for him. I'm sure he would rather a little bit better results, but still ran solid against a really, really tough field out there at Huset's. I do not like Huset's. I don't know what it is. I can't get into it. Awesome facility. Track can race cool sometimes, but I don't know. I don't know if it's just the time zone or what, but I can't really get into it. I don't know if I'm the only one.
No, you're not. The two tracks out that way that for me are Houston and Jackson, man. I just don't like them. Like, it's just not.
And
They're
they're
very
awesome
different, but I just like them for different things. I don't.
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah. And awesome facilities, man. I mean, it's a shame that like you want to talk about tracks doing it right with facility wise. These are specifically Houston's obviously, but even Jackson, those are like some of the probably models that you should be looking after, but a lot of money put in those tracks. I can't get into it, man. I don't know. Let's get into our argument through the week. And I guess maybe this was before Buddy won 250,000, but you're like, Buddy's a top 5 driver. I'm like, I can't put him top 5 yet. I can't do it. Not until he does it at like Eldora or Knoxville. Right now, probably. I mean, after this week and what he's been doing, okay. Is Buddy Kofoid a top 5 driver? Put it in the chat. Let us know what you think. In the
Top 5
country.
driver, sprint car
Top
driver,
5.
410 driver in the country right now. Is he in the top 5? Not 2021, not 2019. Right now, is he in your top 5 of 410 drivers in the country?
For me, it's.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, I thought he was before this weekend. He's won at Williams Grove. I've seen him win at Lincoln. He's won at small tracks. He's obviously a little bit better on the small tracks, but like he's won at Williams Grove. Looking at the statistics last year, this year, there's improvement. Looking at the point standings for the Outlaws, there's enough of a book to tell you if he is or isn't right now against the own competition. He won Beat High Limited Eagle. Like, he continues to run up front, and he's only getting better and better and better as the season has gone on. And it's not quite David Gravel yet, clearly, right? Points tell us that, but look at the statistics, look at the momentum, look at the places and the people he's beat. He came to Williams Grove one weekend and Cam got him, finished second. Might have been the weakest field he's raced against all year. Is us.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
where he's winning and the races he's winning is against the best of the best in both sides of it. He's just fast and he's getting the job done right now. Like, does it stay that way? 6 weeks
Yeah.
from now, I could be like, hey, he had a great stretch and he's not there. But right now, in what he's been doing, he's top 5 in the country for me.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, man, he's had a really good 6-7 weeks. He's had a solid season overall. He's just coming into this season, he was like a 6 to 10. He was a back top 10 guy to me. He's definitely making a case for top 5. It's just if I'm going heads up with some of these other guys, I don't know if I'm putting my money on Buddy, and maybe I'm dumb. Maybe that's why I don't gamble very much, or that's why I'm not a very good gambler. So you could say I'm dumb for that. So I mean, but I mean, when I look at it, I mean, I don't know if I can't put him up above Gravel. Brad Sweet's still Brad
But he's
Sweet.
been beating them. He
has, but
At
you
the
could also
same
say that they've
thing-
also beat him in other races too. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
sure, but not as consistently lately. No one
Yeah.
has.
And also,
Gravel, that's about it.
Huset's is making him look really good right now. He's been very good at Huset's. He just won a shit ton of money, for sure. I guess right now you got to put him there. I'll concede. I still don't
It
think
could
he's.
change. I just think right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
he's on a
I
roll,
mean,
man. He's on a roll
yeah.
and he's winning he's winning everywhere. Yeah, he could go get humbled at Knoxville. I mean, we saw Brad Sweet do that.
Mhm.
We're not knocking Brad Sweet out of the top 5 because he hasn't made the nationals in
Right.
a couple years. We're not doing that, so it's not really fair to him to take him out if he doesn't have a good nationals. But he's won against the best of the best all season and ran up front with them. And man, he keeps on this roll. He's going to be top 3. Like Courtney hasn't won a race yet this year. You know that, right?
Yeah, but he's still there. I mean,
I know, but I'm
yeah.
just saying if you look at it right now, a snapshot, he's better than Brad Sweet right now. Heads up.
I guess so.
Just
Yeah, I mean, Brad hasn't been running
know?
as good. He finishes 22nd here the final night. Yeah, I guess so.
See how it goes.
I-
And I didn't say it to be, hey, I'm right.
No.
For it. Sprint
Because
car,
what you're saying is logically right. I can't find myself to
it's
do it
weird,
right now.
but it's
I
weird
don't
to
know.
think that he is because
Yeah.
he hasn't been. He's like, hey, Courtney, we put Courtney in that pretty quickly here the last couple of years. Like we put him there because his results showed it. This is what Buddy's doing right now. Like he's putting in the results and second in points. And you go to sprintcarratings.com, he's second in 2025 in their rating system behind Gravel. It's all there. I mean, I'm putting him at the fringe of the top 5. He's second in outlaw points and he's second on sprintcarratings.com 2025 ratings. 2. I'm like, hey, 5. Give me 3 more. That's how good he's been this year. Even all of it put together. Of all 410 drivers, their rating system has him at 2.
Right.
Pretty wild. Crazy. And now he's got money to back it up. If people want to take the money argument, you want to take the points argument, you want to take the wins argument, he's checking all
He's
the boxes.
checking all the boxes right now for sure.
He's there.
I solidly will put him in the top 5 if he shows up at Eldora for Kings Royal and Knoxville Nationals, which I think he will at Knoxville. He's running pretty well at Knoxville. Those races, those are the ones that really make or break guys, I think.
Sure.
Then yeah, I'm not only putting him top 5, I'll put him second or third. You know what I mean? But
yeah, absolutely.
And I'm kind of with Mandy here. Gravel, Larson, Rico, maybe Buddy 4th or 5th. It's still hard I still think Sweet and Courtney are right there. Yeah, maybe their results lately haven't shown it, but that's the speed in their cars and what they can do. We know. But Buddy's for sure. Buddy is becoming one of the top threats night in, night out in the country. And he's still very young. He's the youngest out of these guys that we're talking about. He is by far the youngest.
23.
He's by far the youngest. So the best is still ahead of him. Where some of these guys maybe we're starting to think that maybe they're on the back end of their prime, like Brad Sweet. So yeah, I mean it's a changing of the guard for sure.
A little bit, and I think this kid's 23, right? He stays on this trajectory. Where's he going to be when he's 35? How many championships could he have? Crazy. It's crazy to think about But that's the trajectory I see for him.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what he wants to do.
Not wins, championships.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
David Gravel still leads the points right now over Buddy, 176 points back. The points really didn't change there, even though Buddy won twice. It got a little bit tighter. I think maybe like 20 points tighter. Carson Macedo third, Logan Schuhart fourth, and Sheldon Hodenshield fifth. And it's Schatz, Selzy, Baylog, Wyndham, and Williamson, rounding out your top 10. Matt Bird here says, since we're almost halfway through racing season, you boys need to make a top 10 drivers. I think we will do that maybe here and sometime in July after Speed Week. Yeah. We were talking about that, trying to maybe do some halfway, like who's our surprises, who's our top drivers, revisit our bold predictions, because one of my bold predictions was Carson Macedo winning the Outlaw title. I'm not saying he's out of it by any means, but man, he has not looked very good lately, past 3-4 weeks. Just kind of out of character for that 41 team. Not that they've been awful, but you expect a little bit more. But yeah, we'll talk about that here in probably a couple weeks, probably after Speed Week. Let's go to go back to World of Outlaws. World of Outlaws here. They will go to Cedar Lake Speedway this weekend, Friday and Saturday, and then they are off till July 10th. Seen this last year where they're off for Speed Week and they kind of, we saw Logan Schuhart come in for Speed Week because they had so many rainouts. I don't know if they do that again here, but it's something to keep an eye on. Maybe they do, because they did have their fair share of rainouts as well. And I mean, why not? I mean,
I still don't understand why they wouldn't let them do what they want to do at outlaw tracks. Why wouldn't you let them race it at Lincoln, at Williams Grove, at
right.
Paps? If you wanted to hold them away from Port, okay. Or if they want to use one of their four, they don't think they would use the four for a speed week. But like, these guys want to go race, and they're East Coast guys, or they just say, hey, we want to keep going. Race at outlaw tracks. These are big shows. You're going to be in front of fans. They're going to be televised. Like, why not?
Right.
I don't know.
And see, it'll be hard for them to get over here for Lincoln and BAPS, because they're running Friday, Saturday. They could probably make it back for Lincoln on Monday because they're in, but I don't know. I think we saw last year a lot of teams opted, even though they had the option to run, a lot of teams opted to just kind of take that as a nice midsummer break. And I think you would still see that even if they opened it up. I don't think you're going to see David Gravel anywhere if they were to open it up. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to see a lot of guys just kind of take that break, because they're still running 90 some races a year. They still have they have the longest schedule out of anybody. So yeah, I think a mid-season, nice midsummer break here around the 4th of July is much warranted. But if you're home, someone like a Logan Schuhart, why not run if you have the option? So not saying that'll happen, but it'd be cool to see that if they would open that up again this year.
The weird part here is that the end of June's in Wisconsin. You have a 2-week break and you go to Minnesota.
And then you have to go back. You go to Minnesota, but then you
go
back to
that travel is weird.
Wait, you go back to Wisconsin. You go back to Wilmot. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Minnesota, Wisconsin. So, and then they go to Ohio, and then it's Kings Royal. So it's a very important week for them, I think, for some of these outlaw teams, because then you really start getting in the money. So big money races. They did announce that Huset's next year will be $350,000 or $300,000 to win. They bumped it up quite a bit next year. Let me see. I'll just go to their homepage here. I know that they had a post about it. Yes. So the Huset's Hustle will now pay $150,000, and then it'll be $300,000 for the finale. So more and more money coming in this event. They're really pushing it to make it a big event. Hope it's working out for them. That's all I can say. But it's cool. It's awesome to see this kind of money being put up in sprint car racing, no matter where it is.
Yeah, it is. Listen, this is a great thing. But don't you dare call this a crown jewel. Get out of
Oh,
my face
absolutely
with it.
not. Yes, absolutely
It's
not.
trying to make it there. People are
It-
trying to make it that. This is awesome for sprint karting. I love the money. Get this crown jewel shit out of my face. It's not
Yeah.
good for the guys who win it. Good for everybody involved that this is out there for it. That's all I gotta say.
Yep. Absolutely, I agree. Money doesn't make a crown jewel. There's a lot of criteria to make a crown jewel, and that's why there's only 3. PA Speed Week, baby. Here we go. It's here. It's this Friday at Williams Grove. Saturday, Lincoln, Baps. Sunday, Lincoln again on Monday. Tuesday, they go to Grandview. Wednesday, we go to Port Royal. Thursday, Hagerstown Speedway. Friday, Williams Grove. Saturday, Port Royal. And then the finale at Path Valley. Excited for this one. We got 358s the first night at Friday. You have the Extreme Stocks at Lincoln. You got the Super Sportsman on Sunday. No, just EMMR exhibition on Monday at Lincoln. 358 modifieds at Grandview, of course. URC sprints on Wednesday at Port Royal. EMMR at Hagerstown. No support for Friday. That's the $20,000 to win. That's the Mitch Smith. That's the big one. $20,000 to win that one. We got a $20,000 to win race Friday at Williams Grove, and we got two $15,000 to win, one each at Lincoln and Port Royal, and then $12,000 to win at Baps. Otherwise, everything still pays $10,000. A lot of money on the line. And then also on top of that, a $35,000 point fund where the champion will win $6,000 for the Speed Week title. Second gets $3,200. Third gets $3,000. A lot of money on the line. And then Long Hollow Cattle is also tow money for non-qualifiers. They're also, I saw that I'm pretty sure that they're sponsoring the B main as well. And then you got Weikert's Livestock with a top 5 bonus. And then you got the knockout bonus from Leland's Collectibles. Lots of money on the line, lots of contingency stuff. PA Speed Week format is the best format in all of sprint car racing. I will die on that hill. That is the best format you can have. I know people will say straight up, this and that. PA Speed Week format is goated. It's great. What are you looking forward to for this, Jay-Z? And before we get into maybe our favorites.
There was another thing announced tonight, like a 10 for 10, a bonus for anyone who runs all 10, the highest finishing points person that runs all of them, or whatever it is, or I'm gonna have to look it up. Somebody's gonna have to show me. But there's another bonus that was announced tonight for anybody who runs them all and the highest point finisher, I want to say. So, you know what? Let me look it up on my page here quick. What I'm looking forward to is every bit of it. What page is that on?
What?
PA Speed Week. Hold on. There it is.
Oh, Wingless Sportsman at Path Valley on Sunday. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, let's go, Brett Perigo.
I don't see it here. Somebody will have to post it. So, there's a lot that I'm looking forward to here. I know I'm not in the minority here, but I'm a little weird. That Saturday Go Brecht race, I love that event, and I love the extreme stocks at Lincoln.
Mhm.
I love them, and I love that that's the support class. They have starters. They don't bring 67 of them.
Right.
Like I hope that they do get 20. That would be cool, right? Because I think that division can thrive. Hopefully, they're not anywhere else. I love that race. I love that event. They got rained out last year. It ended up being kind of a mess. I think rained out twice, maybe or something. I don't even remember now.
Yeah.
But love that one. Baps on Sunday. Love that Baps is back in Speed Week. The Monday race, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Nothing against any of those. This midweeks can get a little weird, right? I think a lot of weeks, a lot of years, somebody prays for at least one rain out. I did Hagerstown last year. That was good for me. That was fun to see. I won't be able to make it this year. And then the Mitch Smith, right? 20 grand late week. You're going to see some invaders, I think. I know
Yep.
Brent Marks is coming home. He has, I think maybe Wednesday, Friday, Saturday on his schedule, maybe Sunday. There's going to be some cars coming in, and there's a lot of people excited for this Path Valley race. Drivers. Now, there's drivers that maybe if they ran there a lot would be like, man, Path Valley, I don't want to tear my shit up. But there's a lot of drivers excited for Path Valley.
Yep.
So really cool. And the wingless sportsmen, right? We're big wingless sportsman guys. This is the Hess Iron wingless sportsman, by the
Yeah,
way.
how about that one?
The
Nobody
Hess
followed
Iron wingless
Subaru.
sportsman.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about wingless sportsmen; they're just wingless sportsmen. Yeah, no. Listen, new sponsors to close out the year with that deal, and man, I got to tell you that Lincoln Gobrek, the Mitch Smith, and Path Valley, they're the three for me. That I'm going to go to more than that, but those are the three
The ones that
favorites
you're
for
looking
me.
forward to the most. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree on the Path Valley thing. I think that's the one that most people have circled just because it's new. It's kind of a different from the norm. People have been talking about getting Path Valley back on there. They got a high limit race. I don't know if you guys heard that. They have a high limit race.
Inside joke.
Inside
joke with us.
Inside
Did you
joke.
know? Have you heard?
But yeah, I mean, and like you're saying, that could be a way for some invaders to come in, get some laps there for when high limit comes in, and plus there's a lot of money on the line. You know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of cars there. So, speaking of invaders, who do we think will invade maybe for the whole week? It sounds like Brady Bacon. Is
Brady Bacon, Tyler Walker. I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a mystery this year, just because there's so much racing, right? You got Rico used to come in; he's on tour. They might, maybe he'll show up for one or two. But I don't know full time the whole thing. I don't know if you're going to see huge amounts of them,
No,
right?
I
Like
don't. Yeah.
we're going to have good fields with or without. Like last year, we didn't have a ton, and a few ran sporadically, and we had great fields, great crowds, great racing. I don't think it's going to be crazy, right? Like
I
invader
think
wise.
we average probably, maybe Grandview and Hagerstown, maybe they only get like 30, but I think you see 30 to 35 at least all week until I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week. Williams Grove, Port Royal, Path Valley, those races, I think you see probably 40 at each one of those for sure, because they're bigger money races. People are jacked up for Path Valley. I think Lincoln will get a really good car count. I think they'll see close to 40, especially on Saturday, and Baps as well. Baps always gets a good car count on a Sunday. Now this is 12,000 to win, so I don't see any reason why that stuff changes. I think the weekend races will get at least 40, and then during the week you're seeing at least 30 and a couple of invaders. I just think, like we're talking about, like you're talking about Brett Marks and stuff like that. They race Lucas Oil Speedway Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then they're off. So, and like we said, who knows what happens with if the Outlaws do give the option again. But I would say later half in the week is when you'll see the bigger car counts. So like even more on top. But I think it's going to be very healthy all week. A lot of money. This is one of the best weeks. And honestly, I was just looking at the weather. Maybe some thunderstorms this Friday and maybe Monday. Like Friday, Saturday, thunderstorms. But it doesn't look as hot. It looks like around, maybe mid 80s. It'll get up in the 90s maybe around Monday. But the weather looks, knock on wood, pretty dry as of now throughout the entire speed week. Now, it's really hard to look out that far forecast wise, but at least that's what it looks like right now. It doesn't look like anything huge coming in. So, knock on wood, fingers crossed. Yep, Stamen Motorsports will be 23, will be running those speedways. So let's talk about guys that will be running that will be favorites. I mean, for me, we're gonna have Macri come back in. It's very hard to bet against him. Danny's on a roll. Just off Ohio Speed Week win there, and he was running really well here in PA, obviously, as he always does, but he's been in good form here the past month. He's going to be a factor for sure. I think those are your probably two guys to beat. And then you got Troy right there, I think. And Chase Dietz. I think those are your four guys that I would put up there. Now, you're going to have Brock Zierfoss. That's a new addition, who hasn't run speed. I'm assuming he's running the entire thing. I don't see why he wouldn't. And then, you're going to have other guys too that come in, maybe not for the whole week, but those are probably your guys, though. I think it's going to be mostly Macri and Danny, but Dietz is going to have something to say about that. Troy's going to have something to say about that. And I think Zierfoss will have something because Zierfoss has been so consistent as well. And I wouldn't doubt if he knocks off a win maybe during this week. It's been very close.
Yeah, I think, the last couple of years, you go back and look at the speed weeks, they've been very close. And it takes it. You typically need to win more than one race,
Yes.
and you can't finish outside the top 10. That's
No.
how good Brent, Danny, Macri, Chase, that's how good they need to be. And that's how they've been in the past. You go look back and look at some of the features and you look at the rundowns and you look at the results of it. Like, you're going to need to win multiple races and you can't finish outside the top 10. You have an engine failure, it's hard to recover from it. We've seen it, but it's hard to recover from that. That one speed week, Danny and Brent, I feel like they went back, or Macri and Brent, I don't remember what it was. And even last year, Danny and Macri, right?
Macri,
So,
yep. Macri
you
is the
know,
back-to-back winner. He won the past 2
you're going
years.
to, it's going to be a test of consistency and domination. It sounds crazy to say both, but you
Mhm.
finish seventh every night, you're losing this. You're not going to win this.
Right. You'll finish top 5 in points. You'll finish top 5
You
points
finish
doing
top
that.
5 in points,
You'll do a
but you're
good
not
job
going
for
to beat
you,
Macri
you
and Danny.
yeah, you need to go win at least 2 races, I think, to win this
Yeah.
title.
That's how good you have to be. It's not this mixed up bag of who. You'll have comers and goers throughout the week, sure, but the cream rises to the top. The format, the tracks, the teams, you'll that's what it's going to have to be. You got to win multiple races, and you can't really finish outside the top 10 a lot.
Mhm. Yeah, I think those are your obvious hitters, and Macri's the guy to beat. He's coming off of Huset's where he ran pretty well. He's been running a lot of national stuff, and it seems like when he's done that and he's come back to PA, he's just been almost untouchable. Now
I
you're
don't
gonna.
know. I think Danny's the guy to beat.
I think I agree. I think it's 1A 1B just because Danny has been in such good form here, especially coming off of Ohio Speed Week and how good he was running here before that. Um, it's going to be a slobber knocker between those two guys. But then you can't count out Dietz. Dietz has been so good. We were talking about him not too long ago, man. Like, how many second place finishes is this guy going to have? Like Brock Zierfoss, he's like consistently 3rd through 8th every night, no matter the track. Just knock it on the door for a win. And then Troy, he's rolling in the speed week here off of a big win here at Lincoln and has gotten a couple wins here the past few weeks and he for his first speed week last year looked great. He went to some of these tracks that he's never been to before or maybe hasn't been to in a long time. And ran well, very well. And now he has a little bit, maybe a little more familiarity, you know, and all that, and a little more experience with the full speed week deal and this team, and he's going to be a factor as well. I'm excited. That's what I'm really, really excited for. I'm glad you didn't put Freddie in your top 4. Freddie's
Got to see more. Got to see more of some of these
yeah.
places.
Freddie would probably exactly. Freddie's got to do better at like Port Royal, which he's been a little bit here and there. If Freddie was a little bit more dominant like he was at Lincoln a couple years ago, I would put him up there because then I think he would probably get more than maybe a win or two. Freddie's going to be there probably top 5 in points. He'll probably be right there. He'll be very consistent. But for him, the winning speed just hasn't been quite there as it was in years past, but he'll be there. He'll be. I just think he's a step down from those other 4 guys that I mentioned.
And I was thinking about this, and as you were talking, I'm like, I'm dead set on my comment that I'm about to make. But then I was like, I'm not sure. But Danny's got a time trial, right? Because Macri's going to time trial.
Yes, he will.
Macri's going to be setting himself up every single night to go win these races. Danny's got to keep up with that. right? And we know Macri can time trial. Danny's way better this year in
Yeah.
time trials, but you can't have 2 nights that you miss it. You can't afford it with Macri being on kill in time trials, no matter where he is, where he draws, what he does. That's just what we've seen when he's been here. So now, when I say that, I'm when I say that, it almost takes like this isn't the Outlaws, and you can recover in Central PA against these guys a little bit if you don't.
Yeah.
But
If you go out and
If Macri's leading, you're catching up to run second to maybe get to him. You're like now you're playing from behind a little,
if you
right?
go
So
out in
he's got to
time
be
like 6th to 12th, you still have yourself a shot here because you'll be starting
yeah.
towards the front of your heat, and you could go and get in that redraw. And that's what it's all about. You got to get in that redraw in these races, no matter where you're at. I don't care what track, how much you could pass. You got to get in that redraw because all the fast guys are going to be up there.
Couple speed week things. I'm going to share my screen again quick,
Go
right?
for it. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Oh, Justin Whittle is another one. Before you do that, I didn't even think of that. If he's running the entire speed week, he's a guy that you got to throw in there, because he's a guy that has shown a lot of speed. And, you got 2 port races, and he's been fast. He's won at Williams Grove, obviously. That if he could time trial well and stay consistent, he'll be a guy that'll be in the mix.
Oh, let me do this. Cancel. Couple things came out tonight. We have a meet and greet, Tyler Walker car reveal at Mama's on Thursday night. I will be in attendance for this one. It looks like it's 20 people have already responded to it. Looks like join us, welcoming back Tyler Walker. Tyler's going to be running in the 10 nights of Speed Week. Come out and meet Tyler. Check out the car. Event runs from 5 to 8. Try some of the food. And when I say food, I mean Stromboli. So get some Stromboli. But
Oh yeah.
I'll give that back to Jimmy. That just came out tonight. If you want to come out and meet Tyler, check out the car. I'll be up there Thursday night doing that. The other one is the donation drive. The Gossert family. You can reach out to them on Facebook. They are taking donations for these teams to get up and down the road. It is a lot. Water, donations, monetary, snacks. I don't care. Don't donate your kids, but like bring the team something, chips, boxes, whatever, this and that. Can still donations be made? Find that on Facebook. The Gossert family, Gossert. Donna, Brady, Brad. They'll get you hooked up. So support these teams. I know we're going to support them by being there and at the track, but they appreciate it. I've seen them show their appreciation for this stuff, for these donations. So greatly appreciated for them for sure.
Randy Oberlander asked, "Does Axum come in?" I would love to see it because I think he's a guy for how competitive he's been on the national level. He's a guy you would have to, if he was like committed to running the entire thing. He's a guy I would say like, hey, he might rip off a win or two and might be in this thing.
Yeah, I mean,
It would be
I'm sure he's going to
consistency
be at
with him would
Knox.
be the thing.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be at Knoxville, right? So he's not going to be here for all of it. I don't know the schedules, but like he's ran here before. I just don't know. Are they traveling right now? Are they really doing a lot of miles? What's their plan?
Yeah.
Because listen, we're not that far out from Kings Royal, Knoxville. There's a lot of shit happening, and these teams, if they have been racing a lot, like we haven't, but there might be some teams that really put some miles out. May not be this year, may not be the year. So, listen, I will take everybody that wants to come in for sure to compete, but I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if there's not a lot.
Randy Kopp said, I think Dietz is going to win several races during Speed Week. That's what he's going to have to do in order to beat Danny and Macri, I think. He's going to have to win a couple of races here. I mean, like we just said, I mean, it's kind of dumb to say, but like, you're going to have to win multiple races in order to, you're not going to be able to just point
Take
your
yourself
way.
a shot at it.
You're not going to be able to just, hey, I'm going to finish 3rd, 7th, 4th, 5th. Like, that's going to be great, but I don't think you're going to win a Speed Week title this year doing that.
Yeah, that might work in Ohio. I don't work around here, boy.
Mitch Bodine said, Lance, I don't think they would run the full Speed Week. He hasn't in the past.
Running
But
a lot of them actually, but
yeah,
they're not. They're running Hagerstown. They're going to run Path Valley. They're going to run Williams
Port.
Grove and Port, but I don't think they're running any of the Lincolns.
Yeah, they won't
either.
run Grandview or Lincoln or
Yeah,
Babs.
maybe
Probably.
not. Maybe I think they've ran Grandview in the past. He has, but I don't know if they're doing that one. I talked to Megan over the weekend, and I think that was not Lincoln, either Lincoln or Grandview, but all the others. I think. I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
So most of them,
Yeah.
but not all.
He's a guy though that could rip off a win or two and steal a win from these guys fighting for the points for sure. So I mean, Torgerson doing a full week in the 1A. I would
think so.
I would think so, but I haven't seen anything. I haven't really seen that.
Oh,
Maybe I'm just
oh,
out of
I'll
touch on
look it up.
social media because I didn't have any service like for like 24 hours. It felt like, but I haven't seen that many updates on like, hey, who's running what exactly yet. We're just kind of speculating. I think we'll know more in the next couple days. Who's running full? Who's coming in? We know a couple though. And some guys, they don't even need to announce what they're doing. Brandon Zirka would love to see Ross and Campbell run all 10 races. You know, we got Hartlob and Wagaman last year running the full 10. Those are definitely two guys that I would love to see kind of do that jump and be able, every team's situation is different, obviously. But if they were able to, I would love to see what they can do.
Yeah, I don't think Cody's running them all. The other one I wonder is Jordan Thomas. What in the Tron team? How many they're going to do? Because
Yeah.
Cody ran them all with them last year. Jordan's just getting in it, so I don't know. They may have put that out. I didn't see it. I'm not the guy that's going to scour social media and reach out to put a spreadsheet together, but like I'm pretty sure Cody's not running them all this year with his deal. But I'd wonder what Jordan Thomas and how many they have planned. So
Yeah. Santos says yes to 1A is doing the full week. So, food and I get to meet Tyler Walker. I'm in, says Mandy. So get there on Thursday night. There are a couple other races going on this weekend. Oh, High Limit, like I said, they are at Lucas Oil, and then they are also off till the 11th. So Outlaws and High Limit are both off pretty much all Speed Week after Saturday.
Both series did this so they could all come race PA Speedweek. By the way, PA Speedweek is
nice little midsummer break, getting ready because right after PA Speedweek, then pretty much I think they get 2 weeks, but is Kings Royal, and then not far after that is Knoxville. So like we said, this is a good week for them to get retooled, get everything. But you might see a lot of these teams out here. You don't know for at least some of these races. 91 cars running all of them. That would be interesting. That'll be interesting. That would be cool to see.
What's funny there is I talked to them Friday night at Grove, and I said, where are you going tomorrow? Porter, Lincoln. They said, we're actually not racing. I said, what do you mean? Getting ready for Speed Week. So that's a car that would have been at Lincoln Saturday as
Right.
well.
Yep.
They're saying, hey, we're going to take as much time as we can to get ready to run all of Speed Week. So again, it was that time, like I said, the timing of Saturday and how it went with cars where they were. So that doesn't, Mitch, thank you. I was going to say it earlier, but I didn't want to jump on that ledge because I didn't ask them. They said, get ready for Speed Week. And I don't remember asking if I said all of them or, okay, cool. We're like, good luck. But yeah.
As we're talking here and we're talking it out here, I mean, we probably easily have said about 13, 14, at least a dozen guys that are probably planning on running the full thing, which is good to
Lucas
see here.
Usually does.
Lucas will. Lucas? Yeah, Lucas almost always does. Brady Bacon would be coming out. He'd be running the whole thing. Plus the guys that we talked about are favorites to win. Yeah, we easily probably have mentioned probably a dozen, and there's probably more that we don't know about. And then you got it. You'll get a group of a bunch of guys that'll run most of them, just maybe not all of them. So
yeah, like I was thinking the 75. How many do they do?
Yeah. Dylan Norris. He come home. He usually runs full Speed Week.
Well, yeah, we'll see, right? Yeah, you would think so. Wonder like Aaron Bollinger, maybe between his 3 or 4 rides he has, he might get the most of them. I would think, Aaron, if you're listening, you're probably not. You're in bed, but like, there's a few. Like I said, I saw Logan Rumsey has a few on his schedule. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think
that'd be cool.
he's going to run his 358, and he has some 410 dabbled in here, and there were some TBAs on there. We actually just shared it out to our page before we went live. So, yeah, I think it's going to be fun. It'll be fun to see what happens here. Did Billy Dietrich say how many he's running?
I did not see,
Yes.
but he usually
Nobody's saying
does.
Lincoln, Baps, Grove, maybe a Grove. Maybe he'll skip something. I imagine he
Yeah.
does Path. Um,
Kyle Moody, is he another one?
Moody is committed to time trial shows this year, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Samuel Greenwald. Some outlaws choose to make an appearance or two. I think Gravel, Schuhart, and Zerfoss were at Port last year. Yeah, they had the. I don't think Gravel came in for Speed Week, but like we were just saying before, the Outlaws last year made a special exception where they could go and run during Speed Week, and that's why you saw Logan, you saw Brock. Now Brock's here, so he will definitely be running that whole thing. Stutz might run most of it, if not all, between the family car and the plank car. So there's another guy. 1X has 6 to 7.
That's awesome to see. That's pretty cool.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, I think during the week, the Monday through, I'm gonna say the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday shows. I mean, Port always gets a ton of cars. It seems like no matter what, they could run whatever the hell they want.
Think about that. They're gonna get their regulars. There's not gonna be too many guys that will miss it. Add in these others, you're going to see a car count at Port. I just think that's Port. That's what you got. The Grandview and Hagerstown are always the ones that you're like, hey. But
and Hagerstown got
last year, 30. There was 30 cars last year.
Yeah, and
so
that was
awesome.
like iffy weather too, wasn't it? Like it was like real humid and
it thunderstormed in Port. We sat in the parking lot, and then we got out, and it was 3,000% humidity. My eyeballs were fogging up. Like it was the hottest I've been at a racetrack.
With it being right around the 4th of July, I mean, I think from Wednesday on, you get probably 40, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you probably get 40. I think the only days we probably don't hit 40 would be Monday, Tuesday.
And I'm going to tell you,
I think Lincoln will still be close on Monday.
If Mr. Murray is listening, Friday, Williams Grove, July 4th fireworks, these better be good fireworks, my guy. You guys do fireworks well for a racetrack, but it's July 4th fireworks on a Friday night. Better be some fireworks to remember, my friend. Let's get it together, Tyler. You got a week. All right, let's go.
Hey, it's 4th of July though, man. You gotta have fireworks. Like you gotta have them. I'm excited. I'm unfortunately not going to make any of these races. I'm going to be watching from the couch. That being said, we won't have a show next Monday. We will probably try to do some different stuff throughout the week. Try to update you guys. Maybe try to do some like little blurbs or something throughout the week. It's a long week. But we will not have a show next Monday because obviously Lincoln will be racing. The only way that we would have a show would be if Lincoln rained out. But so we'll be off next week, and we will come back July 7th, that Monday, with a big show for you guys. Charlie Creasy says probably Lucas, Dietrich, Macri, Freddie, Wagaman, Stutz, Torgerson, Dietz, Walker, Bacon, Zierfoss, Halligan, Whittle, Ryan Smith for the full week. I keep forgetting Tyler Walker's going to run the full week. So that's another guy that'll be there every night. Fireworks spectacular just for you, Jay-Z.
Let's go.
You know, something that Pocono does really awesome. I'm sad I missed it this year because I didn't camp. You know how Gateway, they do the huge fireballs in the backstretch? They have a big fireworks thing, a big fireworks display on Saturday night, and they have big fireballs that go out around the track. Why they don't do that during the race, like as they're like kind of like how Gateway does, is kind of beyond me, but they usually do that on Friday night, and that's one of the best fireworks shows that I ever see is at Pocono. But Williams Groves are close second. They do a good job.
There wasn't a flyover. Did you notice that? No,
I think because of the delay. I think because of the delay. I'm thinking with the delay, it did get delayed over 2 hours. So
I didn't. There I
There,
thought all the planes were busy, like in Iran or something. I don't know.
that could also be a possibility. To be honest, we did have a flyover on Saturday. It was a huge bomber that came over real low. They always do an awesome flyover there. But yeah, I was a little disappointed we didn't have one out. Everybody was kind of looking on Sunday, but I'm thinking just because it got delayed and everything, that's probably why they didn't have
That
one.
makes sense.
Um,
Yeah, they only
T2T
fly, if they're planned to fly. They can't
yeah.
fly out of schedule,
T2T, don't forget to do your pit walks again. We'll see what we can do. Like I said, I don't know
Will
about.
do my best.
Well, yeah. It'll just be pretty much Jay-Z at the track. I think. I don't know if Chris is going to any of them.
He said he might, maybe there might be some, but
Yeah, and
listen, he's like a, what's the word? What's the word? You go place to place, like
he's
like a
a
hobo, you know.
he's a wanderer. He's a
Yeah, he's a
wanderer.
wanderer. But if Chris shows up and he's like, "Hey, I'm here," maybe there's something, or I'll do it on my own.
Mm.
I'm not very entertaining. I just talk and show you what I see. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll try to do as much at track content as we can. Some of these are going to be dependent on how much time, how early I can get
Yeah,
to all of them, because I can't. There's a real jobs and kids and life and travel and this and that. So and all these back to back to back to back to backs is
it's
it's a
tough.
lot of
Yeah.
time, and we'll see. So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm getting surgery on Friday, so I am out of commission for probably a couple of weeks of going to races. At least for all Speed Week. We'll see how I feel maybe next the 4th of July weekend. I don't know, but I probably will not be at any of them. So I will be trying to do my best on keeping updated for here from home, and like I said, maybe we'll try to do some updates throughout the week, maybe some little videos or something like that. Or if there is a rain out, maybe we'll go live quick and we'll see what you guys think about the week so far. But our next show will be Monday, July 7th. That'll be the next thing. We'll try to keep you guys updated the best we can, though. We did a lot of cool stuff last year where we gave away tickets and everything like that. It just wasn't in the cards for us this year, just a little too busy and a lot of stuff going on. But we'll try to get back to doing some more stuff like we did last Speed Week. We had a really good time doing all that last year. So yeah, keep it posted here. We'll keep you guys posted. Like I said, High Limit at Lucas Oil, Port Royal also on Saturday. They have 350. 350. Jesus, 305 sprints. The limited late models, the Ron Zimmerman tribute race got rescheduled to this. It's the Blue Collar Classic for the 305s, and you got the Wingless Sportsman. So that'll be this Saturday. If you are not going to, if you want an alternative for some reason for that, and then also on Saturday, Selinsgrove has Military Appreciation Night, super late models, USAC East Coast, UEMS modifieds, and street stocks. So there's other racing going on, of course, all over. And then I want to go back and look since we won't have a show next. What does Lincoln have next Saturday? If they run at all. I don't know if they do. July 5th. They will have East Coast Legends, Flying Iron Limited stocks, 270 micros, and classic cars. So a little bit different at some of these tracks. Giving you guys a little bit of an option if you don't want to travel all the way out, or if you live close to these tracks and you don't want to travel all the way out for a Speed Week show. Where can I find updates on who the invaders for Speed Week will be? Basically, just kind of have to follow these guys' pages. Maybe we'll try to.
We don't have time for that.
We don't really have time for that, but
we're not those guys. Just follow social medias and remember, write it down when you see it. X, Facebook, people sharing stuff, people commenting. We pick up on these things from just following these pages of. Sometimes you're following a page, you don't even realize it, and they say, "Oh, we're coming to PA." Oh shit! Okay, cool. Didn't plan on that, but follow these teams' social media, right? Follow along on their
the best
social
way to
media
find
pages. And they, a lot of them are pretty good about posting. Some are better than others for sure, but that's the way we find this stuff out a lot of times. And friends of friends share it. We see it. They, there it goes. So,
and it's Monday, right? And some of these guys probably won't decide until they might have plans on maybe running it or maybe running some, or Some
They're
teams
watching the
won't.
weather.
They're watching the weather. They might not make a decision until Thursday on if they're going to run the full thing, or they might have plans on running the full thing, and then by Monday cut rolls around, they're not running the full thing. So just we know who's going to be competing for this title though, and it's going to be fun to watch. I think it's going to be one of the better Speed Week points races in recent memory. Because I really think the gap is closer between these top 5-6 guys than maybe in the past that will be running the whole thing. So I'm excited.
Here's one for you, Jimmy. How many Ohio guys are going to miss out on their races at home to come race PA Speedweek?
Well, that's something Caden Leonard was saying. Is Devin Borden coming? I don't know. I don't think any of them, to be honest.
They ain't going to come out here and get their ass kicked on purpose.
No, they just got their ass kicked by a Pennsylvania guy in Ohio. Why would they come to Pennsylvania and get their ass kicked by 40?
That's right. PA just better, bro.
One thing I want to bring up. We got stickers. $5 a piece. I know a couple people bought them off of Jay-Z and Chris this past Saturday. $5 a piece. All proceeds goes to Vertical for Life for them to be able to provide to help assist veterans for against suicide. Great cause there. So where you have a bunch of these stickers, if you're interested, this is what they look like. They're shout out to Paulus Graphics for helping us out with these. They came out really, really good. They're very, very high quality, very good. If you have any graphics needs, signs, vinyl graphics, truck lettering, hand painting, pinstriping, contact Gary Paulus Jr. You can find him over on Paulus Graphics on Facebook or 717-919-7457. Fantastic job with these. Highly recommend getting one of them. You could get with us, probably Jay-Z at the track. I'm trying to set up like a Cash App and maybe some other stuff here to be able to send these out to you guys. If you guys, are you trying to share it?
Yeah, I'm going to share a picture while you're talking.
Yeah, let me get that up. There we go. Yeah, we just Bobby Boucher bought one at Pocono yesterday.
There's random people beside us, Kim and Michaela, Paulus Graphics.
Yep.
They said, I said, you're not going to sell any up here. And they said, bet. They took a couple stickers, came back 3 minutes later and sold a damn sticker. So those guys bought a sticker. They don't know who we are, but they bought a sticker because it was to help with veterans. So raise money for veterans. So these guys from wherever the hell they're from have a T2T sticker that they probably left in the parking lot, but they bought a sticker. So
yeah, they supported the cause for sure. But I'll try to get something set up here in the next couple days where if you guys want to buy them and I send them out to you, if you're not getting to a track or something, we want to try to be able to provide that service for you guys the best we can as well. We're not really set up for that type of stuff, but we're trying. But we do have these. It goes to a great cause. All proceeds, everything goes to Vertical for Life. So yeah, so I'll get one on Saturday, says Brandon Zirk. Best bet would be to try to find Jay-Z at the track this week.
I mean, I know we'll see you around the fence somewhere off of turn 4 there. Just give me a yell. I'll do my best.
Yeah, and I have a stack for when I do eventually get back to the track. If Port Royal, Selinsgrove, whatever.
Randy, I can answer that. Hold on 1 second.
How many we have? Chris will be at Williams Grove and Port this weekend, so there you go. If you're at Port on Saturday or Williams Grove on Friday, Chris will also have a bunch of them with him as well. So there you go. We got a stack.
There's hundreds of them.
Yeah,
There's a lot of them.
I think we got over 200 or something like that total. So,
oh Jesus, they're all here. I wondered how many when she handed me this pile. I'm like, I don't know this many people. I was like, I don't know this many humans. We have them. They're ready to go, Randy.
Randy Oberlander actually brings up a good point. Didn't the Steel City Outlaw finish second in Ohio Speed Week points? He did. That's 2 PA guys beating up on Ohio.
Poor Ohio.
But yeah, if you want to support a good cause and maybe rep the podcast a little bit, come buy one of these stickers for $5. We're not charging it we're just doing it for a good cause here. So Shout out Chris. Chris is the one that really kind of set this all up, and he did a fantastic job with it. And shout out to Paulus Graphics. All right, drink it and dump it this week. I'm gonna go back and try to find Matt Bird's. Here it is. Drink it and dump it. Drink it. PA Speedweek time. Back in the cart Friday night at 7 Stars Speedweek. A good time at Port last Saturday for the USAC 410 and Silver Crown show. Dump it for the weird ass car count between Port and Lincoln. Also the nasty spill at Port with Handmaker and Ferry. I agree with all of that. You wanna go ahead? Drink it, dump it.
It's hard not to drink it to Chad Trout and the 1X team.
Oh yeah.
Super cool. Glad I got to be there for it. I remember last season how happy they were when they got the podium, got a podium finish at one of the big races. They were thrilled with it, right? And to see them now get this win after being so close so many times, getting that win was cool. And you got to dump it to the Hammaker JT Ferry deal. Glad they're okay. Doug said, I think his wife posted that he's okay. Definitely got his bell rung a little bit, so hopefully he's back at it pretty soon. JT Ferry, he's like, hey, broken hand, but I'm already working on how to get back. So good for JT, tough kid. Looking forward to having them back out. So
JT was running a lot between the USAC stuff, and then he's been getting much like he's one of the other Port regulars, semi-regular that has progressed and gotten better each week. Him, Kyle Keene, Derek, Garrett Bard, a couple of them that have gotten better each week. So it sucks that that momentum will kind of get broken up a little bit, but glad that he's overall okay. I'm going to. Wyatt says Doug is going to try to race Sunday, but we will see. Hey,
listen, man, y'all are tough guys in this sport, but don't rush that shit back.
Absolutely.
Make sure you're good. Make sure you're feeling good. Don't mess around with his head stuff.
Yes.
Hopefully Doug is smart about it. He's a smart guy. I'm sure family will keep him realistic about this, but don't rush this back. It'll be better in the long run.
I'm going to drink it to Danny. Shout out, repping PA, going out, bringing it down in Ohio. Well deserved, well earned. Looked really good. He was like on the podium damn near every night, and then wins the big one at the end. And I mean, obviously, dump it to JT and Doug. I also want to drink it. I'll drink it to Pocono. It was a good time. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it to you guys here. You guys got a bunch of them this week. Daniel Lee, drink at the Chad Trout, and Mike Wagner wins. Dump at the JT Ferry. 2 cars torn up back-to-back nights. Chris, drink at the Carmen Perigo. Awesome run for him on Saturday night. Good to see him out in the Crown car at Port Royal, charging up to 6th place. Dump it to Lincoln, running a Consi for whatever reason. Drink it to DD for shutting up the All-Stars and representing PA. Dump it to the Handmaker Ferry wreck and the wingless sportsman drama. Says Santos. Do we want to talk about that a little bit? The wingless sportsless drama. No?
I'll be honest, not really.
I don't, but go find it on Facebook. It's funny. I shouldn't say it's funny, but it's interesting. I'll leave it at that.
There's a lot there. There's a lot to unpack in it. I don't want to get into it. I didn't see the wreck. I didn't see what happened. I didn't see what led up to it.
Yeah.
It's hard. All we're doing would be reading off what we're seeing on social media. And I don't want to be, listen, on this show, if I have an opinion, I really try to think it out. I might be wrong. I might be an idiot, but I try to think out the things I say when I don't always have all the info, but I try to give an opinion on what I observe. What I saw, try to be fair. I didn't see any of this. I caught up with it at Pocono, leaving Pocono, and heard about it. That's how distanced I am from it. I don't know.
I just caught this couple screenshots. I think either you or somebody else sent me. And it's just wild Facebook drama right now, but it could have real,
it's
real repercussions
in the moment.
Yeah,
yeah. So
I'm hoping that it ends up washing over and we get back to. But who knows? But if you want to find it, you can go find it.
You can find it. It's out there.
Drink it to Bill Baylog, says Randy Kopp. Samuel, drink it to Chad Trout for his first Williams Grove win. Danny Deep winning Ohio for the Posse, and dump it to JT's Wreck and Williams Grove blackout shenanigans. Caden, drink it to Chad Trout and the 1X team. And Freddie Raymer didn't win, and dump it to the car counts.
Not a Raymer fan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Wyatt, drink it to Danny, dump it to JT and my dad / Doug. Brandon, drink it to Danny on the Ohio Speed Week win and Chad Trout's first Williams Grove 410 win. Dump it to the heat wave that's causing too much swamp ass. Man, it was the real feel when at like 3 o'clock this afternoon was over 110 degrees. That's too hot, man. That's just too hot. I don't like it. Mandy. Weekend winners, especially Trout and Mike Wagner, PA Speed Week coming up. Tyler Walker coming back to PA, running Speed Week, Williams Grove Fan Appreciation Night. Bill Baylog having a really good week, DD claiming Ohio Speed Week for the Posse. Dump it. This hot weather, at least it's not raining though. Blackout at Williams Grove, USAC Rex at Williams Grove, and Hammaker and Ferry. Dump it to Cap. Henry, says Eddie Cop. Yeah, Cap had that lead going into the final race. Then he did like a 50-50 grind. Was that the same night he did like the 50-50 grind on the wall, and then they ended up packing up and leaving?
Hot laps, time trials, or the heat or something, and they packed it up. They didn't have enough equipment.
Yeah.
It sounded like some people tried to help out. They just didn't have what they needed, and that ended his week, unfortunately.
There was a little bit of all-star drama, a little bit, because from what I heard, was it Eldora? Who was leading the points? Bryce Lucius was leading the points at the time, and he didn't make it out for time trials. Had mechanical failure. I think it was the rear end or something.
Yes.
He ended up packing up. Your points leader at the time ended up packing up because the format was going to bury him too much. So something to think about there. But yeah, as always, drink it to all of you for tuning in every week. We really, really appreciate you. Get out to PA Speed Week this week. You got plenty of chances to go out and see some fantastic racing. This is one of the best weeks of the year. When it comes to race 410 racing here in PA, it's the best week of the year, really. I mean, just 10 straight days of racing. Weather's looking pretty good. Fingers crossed. We get them all in. We see some good hard racing, good car counts, and good fan counts. Celebrate the holiday weekend. Yeah, I hope everybody enjoys it. And like I said, we will not have a show next Monday just because there'll be real racing going on. But keep an eye on our page. We'll probably try to bring some content along at some points during the week. Short videos. Maybe we'll, me and Chris were talking about maybe live reacting to a race maybe one night that we're not going to. And again, $5 for one of these stickers goes to help Vertical for Life, helping prevent veteran suicide. That's it. Any last words, Jay-Z?
Jimmy, drink it to you. Have a safe surgery, buddy. We'll see you on the other side. And I'm sure we'll be hearing from you soon. So give everybody shout out Jimmy. Give him good wishes for successful surgery here, and we'll see him back up and running. Need our Pookie back at the racetrack soon. So shout out to you, buddy.
It's just a gallbladder. I got to celebrate my last weekend with my gallbladder very well this weekend. So I'm hoping only just maybe a week and we'll be back at it. I really appreciate the thoughts though there. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, again, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys in at least 2 weeks. Get to the track for PA Speed Week, guys.